Mic is muted. There we go. Hello, everybody. Uh,
Hello.
as you might notice in the bottom right corner, we have motion now.
Video.
We have an anime and a real life person down there.
It's weird seeing a real person.
I'm being like escorted to anime jail.
This
been
is the
arrested.
crimes. Yeah, how much did you spend on that model, Matt?
it's literally worth all I have in many ways.
Literally worth your mortal soul.
That's all I got.
But yeah, this is the Death Battle Matchup console. We did this 2 or 3 weeks ago, something like that, I think. And it was pretty good. Allowed us to shoot the shit and talk about Blorbos. However, Matt was missing from the Seth Saddle this weekend due to circumstances outside of his control.
That happens.
Yeah, there was a family thing going on that like I extra had to be to because my mom got a very minor, not like scary case of COVID. Just like the now, there's the cold. I know it's already one of these, but like the cold and the flu come around once a year, and now COVID comes around once a year. It's just a part of our lives now.
Totally
Thanks Congress. So like
those clowns up in Congress.
I have absolutely gotten.
Be a ride.
Go ahead.
I had to be a ride, so I like could not even dip out and go back. So I had to miss Saturday.
Yeah, speaking of people that have had COVID way too many times.
Me!
Sonia.
That's me. I have had it once every year since COVID's existed.
I'm sorry that you're the target audience for this change.
Yay! I do work in health, so you know.
That is also probably like a part of it, I would say, but who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, with that in mind, we're gonna catch Matt up to speed a little bit. With the last one that came out, we're gonna be watching the Green Man fight the Big Lizard.
Yeah, I've been teased several times by multiple people that I'm gonna have like emotions about the preview for the next matchup, but everyone's been like real tight-lipped about it, and I have also done my part and not looked it up. So I genuinely do not know.
My defense,
I've made sure to stay unspoiled.
In my defense, I did not target you specifically. I did not call you out specifically. I said someone was going to have a hernia.
I knew it was going to be me, though.
And I said fighting game mention as the hint.
Yeah.
Even before that, I felt it was my time.
That being said, this one above all else requires a little bit of pre-knowledge, I guess. Hulk versus Godzilla specifically. Are you familiar with Godzilla Singular Point, Matt?
No.
Basic gist.
Movie?
Basic gist is it's a Godzilla anime, and I'm gonna turn my music down a little bit.
Motion pictures.
It is an anime series where it is shown that Godzilla, and by extension, the being that has created Godzilla, is an interdimensional being above our knowledge, an eldritch being that sends Godzilla and other kaiju down into the earth and all the other dimension shit that goes on.
So there's like a Cthulhu that puts Godzilla's underwater. And then they
basically.
Like...
Yeah, wasn't the
That's
idea
where they come
of it?
From.
We can't comprehend how they would actually look, so we kind of just picture a big lizard.
That not really. That is like, we don't know what the true form Godzilla looks like. We just had
Oh.
Godzilla, and by extension Godzilla Ultima, which is a very important thing for this fight in particular, is the main avatar of that entity. I think it's literally just called It in
Oh. I can't
in
believe the
singular
clown's
point.
back.
in singular point in all of its supplementary material. Other
Yeah,
important thing.
that's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
That's the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life.
it's a lot. The singular point is a lot. The other
Mhm.
point to know is that they do a lot of focus on Banner's intelligence in the preview.
Mhm.
Or
You know,
the analysis portions, I should say.
he made like a working radio in a stranded planet or something like that was one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, basically,
Oh.
this is the one time where it's like, not the one time, because there's probably a good number of them where that's the case, but if you
That
kind of don't go watch the analysis portion,
hmm.
it's actually a little confusing.
Yeah, Matt, do you know about the below and the super below?
No, I do not know about Under and Under 2 the sequel.
Because apparently the Hulk can go through a door and come back to life when he goes and dies. He goes to the below.
I did know that the Hulk just kind of walks out of hell.
Yeah,
Like, he
Yeah.
just
that's called the
leaves.
below.
The below place, as it's called, is basically Marvel's super hell. It's lower than even hell.
Ah, okay. Yeah, like
There's a
like
lot.
Supernatural Hell 2, where they
Yeah.
I've never watched Supernatural. All I know about it is like they revealed a gay couple at the end so that
Hmm.
they can send them to double hell. Like that's the
Yeah.
end of the
Yeah. I love you. Goes to hell.
series.
God. Alright,
That's how
yeah.
I found out the queen was dead.
I think I'm gonna hit play.
That's probably a good idea.
And here comes specifically Marvel Rivals Hulk, because it's the most recent
Yeah.
model.
Triangle looking man. Yuck.
Lorch.
Is this part of the lore? Is this how Hulk works now?
Yes, very much so.
Okay.
You mean how Banner has his own special room?
Did you just say Scott the Woz?
Squinch.
No, his tiny little arms!
Defeated by arms.
Ooh. I like their use of effects. Rude.
Me whenever I have to play Godzilla universes.
Disintegrated.
He just left.
This is very near, like.
Also, yeah, Godzilla Ultima's a wide motherfucker.
Nah.
So yeah, one important thing to note is that ending is like directly a reference to Godzilla Singular Point. So
Oh.
like all those spikes coming out, that is flat out how
Ah.
they defeat Godzilla in Singular Point.
It thought about the first time I watched it, but the red mist is so near, like.
Yeah, that's called, it's specifically called archetype, which is like what allows kaiju to spawn in the world. Is if I remember correctly. But yeah, kind of the big thing about this episode and why they put such a focus on Banner's intelligence in the episode. Or actually, you know what? I don't normally do this for these kind of makeup sessions. Let me actually watch the ending analysis, because I think that's actually a pretty important aspect.
Well, I thought this was sick, by the way. Like before we even, but I am interested. Comic books.
Yeah, it's comic books.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, one thing I want to point out is the fact that since they've done this whole category thing, there's never been a case where 2 out of 3 of the categories were tied, so it all came down to 1, effectively.
The Onions. White Hot Room.
God, every time they say the below place.
Mm-hmm. Marvel Rivals art.
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah, one thing we did miss by not watching the analysis. My favorite thing about how they canonized fucking like She-Hulk's fourth wall awareness
Oh yeah.
is they made it a byproduct of gamma radiation.
Yeah, gamma
Nice.
radiation can just do fucking anything. See? Yeah, it's really cute,
Based.
isn't it?
Saying the winner is Bruce Banner is so fun.
Yeah, it's so
They're
cute.
right though. They're
It's-
right though.
It's such a perfect encapsulation of what made this matchup interesting.
Yeah,
Uh,
'cause
Like,
otherwise it's gonna be 2 guys beating up each
Yeah.
other.
Those two are. It's like it's nothing. It's literally nothing. Bruce Banner is in fact the only deciding factor.
Mhm.
Excellent work.
I call shenanigans. Allies aren't allowed. Bruce Banner is the Hulk. They are the same person.
Are you sure? He's in his own room and everything within the Hulk. It's very cute. I did have one question, and I don't know if there's an answer to it.
Yeah.
If Bruce dies, does he come back, or does it have to be specifically the Hulk?
No, if Bruce dies, he does come back. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because
That's
he's
what I
also
want.
the Hulk.
Yeah, I just didn't know if he had to be like in powered up form, or if he was just like, if he's baby boy form, it doesn't count.
Yeah. One thing too that is interesting that I actually forgot to touch upon when we actually watched it is in the actual like Singular Point anime, the higher dimension Godzilla, it wasn't actually like outright killed. Basically what happened was the device they built effectively severed that higher dimension being's connection to its avatar, and then allowed itself to kill Godzilla Ultima. What I think is very neat is that it was stated by the writer of this episode, Ben, that it was intentionally kept vague whether or not Hulk Bruce Banner actually did the same thing in Singular Point or outright killed that higher dimensional entity. And I think that's a very good way of handling that from a writing perspective.
Yeah, that's not a call that I think they are able to really make in a fan work like this.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's like, I mean, anyone can make any decision with their story. But
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Death Battle wants to be like very. This is how it would actually happen in good faith. So
Yeah.
that's
To a
like
certain extent, yeah.
to a certain
It tries
extent, but like
it
from
tries its
that
best.
perspective, it's not the type of show to want to hand down a judgment on that in particular. Is mostly what I'm saying.
But yeah, so as I mentioned when we watched this, it's going to be my turn to bring down the score for this episode. Cause
Interesting.
I don't think it's bad by any means. I just think it's the first half of this fight is kind of nothing for me. I do really enjoy the back half where it is showing Banner and Hulk working together and all that kind of thing. I do really enjoy that. I wish Godzilla did more in the actual animation.
What else could he do? Pew, 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 pew.
He could drop kick Hulk. That'd be funny. Because that's a thing Godzilla's done. He's drop kicked Kaiju in the past.
Oh, I guess.
Let Godzilla do a dive kick.
That's what I'm saying. But yeah, my main issue with this is just... And this is gonna sound maybe a little weird. It was structured more like Godzilla was an adversary for Hulk to defeat than an actual fight between the two.
Oh, for sure. Like this... So this wasn't really a death battle, because it actually couldn't be, because the problem with it is, like, you really can't have a death battle when neither character can die. Like, it's just kind of in the name. So, like, instead of trying to do that, which they couldn't, instead they made a short film. And in the context of they made a short film about the Hulk and Godzilla, it was fucking great. It was incredible.
Yeah,
I thought it was really good. But it was not a death battle.
That is why I have come around to it a little bit more after my first initial viewing of it. Because I was extremely down on this when it, like, when I first watched it. Like, my
Did
first...
you watch it with Sprout the first time, or was
No,
it just
I watched it on myself. I watched it by myself and then I watched it with Sprout, because God knows you can't let that man not watch a Godzilla related thing like day of. But no, basically my first reaction upon finishing the fight itself was, that's it. Which isn't entirely, like, I think what you want from an episode. But yeah, and after watching it a few times, I have come around to it a little bit. I do still think it's one of the weaker episodes of this year. So in that mind, I am going to drag it down a little bit based on everyone's score, but...
I mean, I think that's entirely fair. This is one where, like, I liked it a lot, but, like, with the understanding that this was not a death battle. This was not a death battle. It was on the show Death Battle, but it wasn't one. And, like, really how much of a deal breaker that is going for you is going to determine, like, whether you feel like you wanted this to be an episode of Death Battle or not.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not whether it's good or not, whether on the show Death Battle, which you are watching for a specific thing, did you like this enough for it to justify eating a slot that could have been that thing that it wasn't? And, like, for me, I'm totally fine with that. If this feels like it came at the expense of a death battle, I could easily see from that paradigm being kind of unhappy with it. I think this one is, like, evaluated on a slightly different axis than a lot of death battles.
It's definitely one that is very divisive in the Kimuni for those exact reasons. Ironically, I'm coming down kind of in the middle point of all things, but
The singular point?
But yeah, what number would you in fact give this, Matt?
For me, this was a 9, but I would give it an 8 because I do think it not being a death battle does, like, I do need to factor that into my calculations. Like, it has to lose a point for not being an episode of the show that it is, I
Sure.
think. So, like, even though I had a 9 out of 10 time watching it, I very much feel like 8 is the answer I would like to give for the test question.
Could be like an episode of What If, almost, you know?
With that in mind, having done the calculations, that's where it ends up.
Ta-da.
He
'Cause
never misses.
Literally everyone except me and Sprout gave it an 8, which
Yeah.
is very funny. And it
You can guess what Sprout put it.
it came out to Sprout gave it a 10, I gave it a 6. So it coming out,
exactly 8.
it coming out to that is very funny.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, you know what? Just for my own sake, too. There we go. Because I personally, I do think it's better than Joker versus Giorno. But
Yeah, I do too. I thought it was a very good short film about what if the Hulk fought Godzilla. I enjoyed it a lot.
It's just an episode of What If instead,
Yeah.
you know? That's okay.
But yeah. So, important thing to know about the next time, since we're going into it. This is episode 200 of the show.
Oh.
So,
That's a lot.
pretty big milestone.
Is that the Tekken font? No, this is, oh my god, is this Blaze Blue?
No. Well,
Or is it,
yes.
Is this Blaze Blue cross tag battle? Is this Blaze Blue? Oh
So-
man, this is fighting game mentioned, but like in the most cursed way possible.
So,
Yeah.
the person who I expected to have the hernia was Emily.
Yeah.
Her reaction was a lot more subdued than I was expecting, but
Yeah.
so the important thing as to why this is episode 200 is one, Monty specifically requested this matchup before he passed away.
Mhm.
Oh.
Yeah.
2, Ash versus Yugi, which was originally supposed to be episode 200. They wanted to push it back, just make sure, it's as good as it can be, because it is a very big episode with a lot of moving parts. And 3, effectively, Death Battle wouldn't exist if it wasn't for Monty
So it makes sense to have it as a milestone episode.
The Haloid series, specifically, was noted to be a major inspiration for Death Battle as a concept. It's why Samus versus Boba Fett was the first ever episode of the show.
Oh. I didn't know that was the first episode.
Well, that's cool. I think it's a very touching gesture.
Yeah.
It is something that, like, I like Soul Eater quite a bit, so I'm happy to have Maka on. I have made my stance on Ruby pretty clear. I think it's fine. I think it neither deserves the glaze it receives from certain groups of people, nor do I think it deserves the immense hate and derision that it receives from certain groups of people.
My hate is correct because I hate playing against that character. I am right to feel that way. So mine is justified. Mine is defensible.
You know what? That is you do have a good defensible point there. But yeah, Blackjack Attack Soul Eater is mostly aged fine. Like, there's some jokes in there that haven't aged well, but also, like, it's shit that still exists in modern anime, so I don't know.
Isn't like there's an anime or manga where the ending is that now the soul that was made is the main character of Soul Eater or something?
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, Fire Force is a prequel
Yeah,
to
that's it.
Soul Eater, yeah.
Still don't know how that happened.
It's a lot. Fire Force gets weird in both funny ways and bad ways. But yeah, also something to note about this episode is and I mentioned this in the group DM, but Hulk versus Godzilla's 1 week delay did not impact the development of this episode. So it's actually coming out a week earlier than what would be the standard production pipeline, effectively.
Nice.
It comes out next Sunday, actually. And obviously we'll watch it the Saturday after, but... yeah, now let's get into the thing we're all here for. Let me... Actually, no.
That's right. BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle. For the rest of the stream, we'll be playing 1-on-1s.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically just girls with size. Yeah, that's kind of just the whole thing. But... And, like, Soul Eater Ruby was very much inspired by Soul Eater.
Makes sense.
That's the wrong thing. Is this the... Nope, that's the presenter view. There we go. You get to look at a circle for a little bit.
I saw one of them and I got excited.
Yeah, finally, circle versus square.
Circle.
Yeah, the circle is how I initiate the macro to randomize the slots.
Ah.
That's basically it. And let me get music going. Turn that down because it's very loud. Where the fuck is my volume mixer? Oh my god.
Okay, it bothers me that the square is off center. I mean, the circle is off center of the square now. Oh, buddy, can you fix it?
No.
No.
Right. Also, let me get everyone in chat the thing. Unfortunately, due to how Tiermaker's live thing works, y'all cannot vote alongside the people in call. But it is what it is. I will pin that. And I will get you the actual link in here.
Okay.
Is it sight?
But yeah, as a reminder for everyone, we are not going off a pure A, B, C, D type ranking. We are... The tiers are as follows. Surprise, it hasn't happened yet. Whether or not you are personally into this matchup, it's something that you would expect to have happened, is that kind of popularity in, like, almost any circle you run into, that kind of thing.
I recognize a couple, though.
Should probably happen, / I dig it. This is one where you might not be into it, but you do think it should probably happen, or you're into it, but you understand why it might not happen. Kind of like how Adachi versus Kira is kind of the prime example of that from last times.
Yeah.
50-50, you can take it or leave it, pretty much. And not into it means, I mean, you'll probably watch it if it happens, but that's about it.
And then there's the D tier.
Well, the D tier that's not supposed to be there.
Yeah, the D tier. Yeah. It's not supposed to be in here.
It's the D tier is our super hell.
Yeah.
It's the below place, exactly so true.
The worst ones that I don't even want to engage with, I put in D tier. They mean nothing to me.
You are nothing.
But yeah, as mentioned, for the live one in chat, you can't vote alongside because how Tiermaker has its system is they are ordered by alphabetical, and that's kind of just hard programmed into the site, whereas these slides are randomized. So with that in mind, we'll just hit the first one.
Good. Yeah, this is what I saw.
Yeah, okay.
I'm into it. This is so funny. I'm down. Yeah.
So, yeah, that is Inspector Zenigata from Lupin the Third versus Goro Majima. Two people who are obsessed over one man, and it's a whole cops and robbers type thing. It's very funny.
I think it's really cool.
They they live in a really specific character archetype of they are incredibly, unbelievably competent at all times until they're exactly dealing with one singular human being, in which case they cannot tie their shoes anymore. But as long as they are doing anything else with anyone else, it is unbelievable how good they are at things. They just fall apart with their 0-10 matchup. And I think that makes this an excellent death battle.
And I think it would be funny in the scenario that if this happened, both Kiryu and Lupin do show up for a second. And they just
Yeah, it is very funny because, Majima is a character who you wouldn't kind of expect him to, but he has a fuck ton of matchups. No one can decide on one singular matchup for this fucking character. I've seen Roman Torchwick from Ruby. I've seen Juri from Street Fighter. I've seen Undyne from Undertale.
Okay, that one's a bit funny.
You lost me on that one, champ.
They both wear eye patches. And
they're both relentlessly pursuing.
God. Fine, I guess.
but yeah, true. She is also a cop. As a reminder for you two, the tiers are individual. We're not collectively agreeing on something. That being said, it sounds like y'all have found your places for this one pretty quickly. So.
Yeah, go ahead, Matt.
It's orange for sure, right?
Yeah.
I don't know why they haven't made this, but they should.
Yeah. I think it'd be a very funny episode.
Speaking of episodes that could be very funny.
Oh! Isn't that King from One Punch Man?
That is King from One Punch Man versus Reagan Arataka from Mob Psycho 100.
The frauds.
Yes!
The genuine frauds that, they're frauds for different reasons and with different motivations, but, this is the sickest matchup. It will be almost beginning for the entire runtime. The whole runtime is the fight almost starting. The kind of peak, I think.
This showed up at Battle Banter once, and it was also done by one Flare Sword. And they were discussing this, and their idea for it was both of them just constantly lie to each other until Reagan just pulls out an actual fucking gun.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like 2 minutes 59 seconds of them like bullshitting, and then 1 second of death battle.
Yeah, the idea of like accidents constantly happening around them and each other constantly attributing it to the other person is a very funny idea. It is.
I think that's also an orange tier for me. I can see why it hasn't happened yet, but it's a very funny idea.
Yeah, it's kind of the thing where King is very niche in terms of like One Punch Man characters. Like, not the nichest of the niche, but he's not like crawling up the ranks. Unlike Reagan, who is sort of the deuteragonist of One Punch Man.
Yeah, King is also a tertiary protagonist. He's like, he's in Saitama's orbit more than most characters, but only really shows up when his gag would be appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And also, one's a sexy Tumblr man.
True!
Yeah. Oh, brother, these guys stink!
The epitome of, if you idolize them, you are missing the point.
I don't have much to say about it. I can see the matchup. The one on the right is Travis Touchdown, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't played No More Heroes yet, but I get his vibe, especially if he's next to Scott Pilgrim of all people. I'm 50-50 on this. I can still watch it. It's fine.
Yeah, I actually same. Like, I feel exactly the words you just said with no notes. Like, I get it. I get why it's this matchup. That is Travis Touchdown, and I would watch it if presented to me, but like, I'm not looking for more Scott Pilgrim Stinky Man fan content.
the part of the big reason why this probably hasn't happened yet is just because Scott kind of just gets dog walked by Travis. Like, it's not fucking close.
Kind of like Travis Touchdown is a huge fucking loser, but Scott's like, it's an important plot point that Scott Pilgrim is a huge fucking loser. Like, it's important to the character. Like, that's what he's about. He's about being a huge fucking loser. Like, that's his class, where Travis Touchdown's class would be like Beam Swordsman, who happens to be a huge fucking loser. So like, it's not even close.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, not only has Travis killed so many actual world renowned assassins, he's gone to space! He's killed aliens!
He does things, and like, the other one's a character who's like deliberately incompetent as part of the story. So like, sorry, man. It is not fair.
It was a thing where like it was slightly closer before No More Heroes 3 happened, but it did happen, and we're all forced to live with that.
Space aliens are in No More Heroes 3, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Yeah.
No More Heroes 3 gets fucking weird. Not including the whole thing with how Henry Cooldown was treated, where he like joins a cult or something.
Normal things.
I don't know, man. Anyway,
I don't know who the guy on the left is.
That's the Courier from Fallout New Vegas.
Oh, okay.
Right.
See. I don't recognize it because I'm usually in first point of view.
And that is the Mandalorian on the right. You can tell because he has
Glupshido.
Glupshido. That's right. It's him. That's Glupshido.
Also, Also a guy in armor or whoever.
Well, I do like New Vegas, but I actually haven't watched The Mandalorian. And my New Vegas character was 100 charisma, so I think I would die. So yeah.
I think this is as low on 50-50 as it can get without actually dipping into not into it. I just like don't care. I really
Yeah.
aggressively do not care about either of these characters.
Yeah. I'm sure they'd make it interesting, but I really don't know anything about like
It
what
would
they
be a
want
Star
know.
Wars fight that is comparatively a lot lower in scale. Kind of like Boba Fett versus Predator, but like good, probably. Instead of being Boba Fett versus Predator.
But truly, to me, this would just be two guys fighting.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
I'm so uninvested it can't go down to not into it because like I would need to have some feelings about either of these characters to have that strong of an opinion.
Mandalorian Season 1 is pretty good from what I understand. I've never watched it, but I know it's people talk highly about it. I know the later seasons dip in quality apparently, but
yeah, I haven't watched that or played New Vegas. So
I think you like New Vegas.
That makes sense. You're not a trans woman.
What does it say about me then? I am non-binary, so you know.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, the best part of the Boba Fett shows was the one that was actually a Mandalorian episode. Yeah, it checks out.
I watched Andor. That was fun.
Andor also, I've heard, is pretty good.
It's very good. I never finished it just because I am subscribed from Disney Plus, not because I thought the series was bad.
Also, I just remembered I need to put that on a loop. Thank you. Alright, so yeah, sounds like y'all are both slamming this into 50-50 pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, not its fault. This one's on me.
Well, it made me want to play New Vegas again, but that's about it.
But yeah.
Sinestro versus who?
Terumi BlazBlue.
Yeah, that is Yuki Terumi from BlazBlue. Yuki Terumi's whole thing is he's much like Sinestro, he's a being that lives off of fear. His whole thing is he effectively cannot die as long as there are people who hate and fear him in the world.
Yeah, BlazBlue is one of those series that like has a lot of like homework for the lore. But like suffice it to say, Terumi is like a greedy little nasty man.
Gotcha.
Who never quite goes away.
Yeah, he is the same as Susanoo and Dark. It's Hazama that's different, because Terumi was inhabiting Hazama's body, and Hazama is a different person entirely, but...
Well, kind of. There's like a different... Hazama is that body with Terumi in it, and then that guy is just like his own guy otherwise.
Yes.
Like, I can't believe I'm like actualing about fucking BlazBlue, but like I had to learn this shit at one point, which means if I have a chance to like talk about it, it actually like makes that amount of time worth it. Like this retroactively unwastes parts of my life to like have a chance to specify things about BlazBlue, so like I gotta jump at the chance.
But yeah, I will say this matchup was spawned from, as many things are, Ben 10 versus Green Lantern.
Oh my god. Okay, it was gonna be not into it anyway, but now it's definitely going into it.
Because this alongside Simone versus Kyle was the result of people trying to find matchups where a DC character, specifically a Lantern, because they'll never get over it, as Chad is putting.
No, I'm gonna put this in the D tier. Fuck this.
I actually do like this matchup quite a bit, just because Sinestro is a very cool character, and I do want to see BlazBlue get a better showing than their last episode, which was Go ahead.
It's regrettably, I do have to put this in orange because they fighting game characters in it. I am compromised. I am immunocompromised. I do have a commitment to the bit, so you know, it could be Terumi versus like a ham sandwich, and it would go up
there. But yeah, it's sort of the thing where I think is Sinestro and fighting. Yes, actually, he was in Justice 1. Notably, he was the character, if you ever watched the video of Batman using the dumpster, he was the character getting dumpstered.
That's his biggest legacy in that game, is like that one clip.
Basically. I don't know literally anything else about Sinestro in that game beyond that clip.
He was not all that good. That's all you need to know. Which is why that was his peak.
At least he's not Zod versus Lex, there's that. But yeah, it's sort of thing where I am always for getting to see the like cool comic book characters getting put in a death battle matchup where it's not just against basically their copy from the other comic book company.
Do you think even I'm not into it? I was mostly joking about putting in the DT. I do, just because I think the reasons why it exists. I do like that it's a matchup that's not just, Marvel versus DC.
Yeah.
But I don't know any of these characters.
We haven't had a Marvel versus DC matchup in a whole year, and people are actually wanting one. It's fucked up.
No.
They waited it out. They did it. Good job, Death Battle.
Not fucking two Marvel vs. DC episodes, right? Back to back. Anyway. Fish.
Yeah, okay. These guys like water.
They are extremely powerful water creatures, yeah.
Water and water and water.
That's what I'm saying.
One of them is a fish.
Water.
One of them is a big freaking fish.
I've never played that Sonic one, but I know what it is. Perfect Chaos.
That is. Though the water monster named Chaos for some reason.
I love this picture of Kyogre because it looks like he's gonna kill me.
He will.
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
I mean, it makes sense. I'd watch it.
Koba, do you want to know why this character is named Chaos? I actually
hit me.
It's because he's a Chow that got mutated into like a fucked up water guy, and if you add S to Chow, it's Chaos, and Chaos is like fucked up and bad, and also the Chaos Emeralds exist.
Is that real?
And he's like he like absorbs energy from them, so like those are the reasons. It's like it's because he's attached to the emeralds vaguely for story related reasons, but also because he's a Chow that is fucked up and evil. And
that's so fucking funny. Yeah, fish versus Dasani. But yeah, this is one
Frontiers
where like
made it more complicated. Hell yeah, lore.
This is like a Sonic matchup that is like shockingly popular for what it is. Like
people like this character. Chaos is like actually very popular among Sonic fans.
But what does it add to the plot? Like legit, I'm curious.
The reason people like him so much is because he was the big last boss of Sonic Adventure 1, and like the scale of what this character did in that game was like the first big step into like 3D stuff for most Sonic fans. And so like he's just kind of constantly grandfathered in as being the first extremely cool like 3D Sonic final boss.
That's totally
So
fair.
there's a
Yeah.
lot of like legacy love for this character.
I didn't really
That's
think about it
fair.
that way. Yeah, because Sonic Adventure 1, it was like it is sort of the game that put the tone as to what Sonic the Hedgehog would kind of be in its later entries, where it is like, whereas like the earlier Sonics were very much more of a mascot platformer akin to, you know, Mario and all that. The later Sonic games became much more, and I'm not using this term like derisively or anything like that, but they became much more anime in like scope
Yeah.
and tone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
it went from like robot man makes robot to like they will fight a god at the end of this video game.
Yeah, yeah.
the goddess is sometimes a lizard.
And now we have the start of what I realized was a fuck ton of JoJo's on this list.
Yeah, I was noticing that. There's like a bunch of JoJo's.
So that's Power from Chainsaw Man on the left versus FF or Foo Fighters from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 6.
Yeah, FF if you're under American copyright law.
For
I kind of don't get this one.
They I'm trying to find my right words. They're like both creatures that inhabited a body and became friends with the main protagonist, and they are have very out there and extraordinary personalities. There's probably
Okay, so this one, I feel like this one's a little more vibes based than a lot of ones that have like an extremely direct connection.
Sonia,
I don't really know much about either.
I love you getting to use your model toggles during this, since you're not playing a game during stream, so you get to use them a lot more.
Like, I know Power. I don't really know FF that much, but like, it's one of those where I would watch it if it was on it. But I don't really know anything about either. So that's
Oh,
basically
they're fun characters. They're both like kind of like head empty, but just like durable enough to kind of live that way in a story where they're constantly fighting things.
Mm, mm.
They're characters that get away with it in a very like endearing way.
I know that like Power is the best awful sister, basically.
Yeah,
That's
a
good
good
of both of them. That's the match. Like you actually nailed it way better than either me or Buddy.
Both the worst, best, awful sister.
I'm into it. I would watch this for sure.
There are actually like, and FF is one of them. There are actually a lot of, or I should say a lot. There are a good number of characters in this list that I actually know very little about because they're from series I have not engaged with. JoJo's being kind of one of
that's
those.
so awesome. Okay, this is great. I can't believe I get to be the one to tell you two about this. So Foo Fighters is not a person, actually. Foo Fighters is a collection of plankton.
Yeah, that part I do know.
She is a bunch of plankton in the shape of a girl, and like collectively put together by their stand power, more or less. Like they get to be a person because they have a stand. Is, you know, classic JoJo stuff. But like
JoJo's is so funny.
Yeah, they end up being like the part of the protagonist triad of Stone Ocean, like one of Jolene's two usual suspects as they do JoJo's butt in prison. And she's generally well liked among the fan base. like, for the same reasons Power is. That sort of character is fun. Like, because she is mini Plankton, and more or less whether she is, like, alive or not purely depends on whether she has a dollar to put in the vending machine to get a bottle of water at any given time. She's allowed to be put into, like, situations where she just gets totally owned and it doesn't matter. And because of that, she's able to get into a lot of mischief, which makes her a very fun character when she shows up on panel.
I've learned so much about JoJo today.
You've learned a lot about a lot of things today, Sonia. You've learned a lot about BlazBlue too.
And we still have like 90% of this to go.
Yeah, speaking of Chainsaw Man though. Also, speaking of matchups that are like extremely based on vibes.
Yeah, right.
I don't know who the guy on the right is.
That is Alucard from Hellsing. You saw him fight Dio.
I thought this one already happened. Oh yeah, he fought Dio. Okay.
I'm kind of not into it. Like, I don't understand. I really. This one is like extremely two characters that are liked by the same demographic, but like are not death battle opponents against each other for like any other reason than that.
Part of it is it's vibes. It's the fact that they are both characters with like billions of lives.
Okay.
There's probably also something about how like Makima's the spoilers from Chainsaw Man, but like
what?
If you haven't read the first half of it, I don't know what's stopping you at this point. Makima being the embodiment of control and versus Alucard, who is willfully serving underneath someone's heel to not become a bigger monster than he is, that kind of thing. I haven't actually looked into, because people always make this fucking massive laundry list of connections at any given matchup, even when those connections are stretched insanely thin.
Yeah,
this is one of those matchups for sure. Like, a lot of the similarities really do not work along the same axis as each other, and are like similar in the same way that you can say like a bird and a fish are similar because they move without walking on their feet. Like, that's kind of what a lot of those connections are.
I will say my favorite example of that is when someone, and this is going to be targeted toward Matt because it involves Springtrap again. Someone Death Battle matchups made one of those laundry list of connections for Springtrap versus Amity Blight from Owl House. It was a joke. It was a joke. It was specifically mocking
satire.
Those. Like, also because
about to murder someone.
Springtrap is like another one of those characters that has a billion fucking matchups in the community.
Well, of course, it's fucking Springtrap,
and no one can decide on which one they want.
I think it should be Springtrap versus the Iron Giant.
I can almost see a connection and I hate it.
One of them is a soul in a machine, the other is a machine with a soul.
Yeah, there you go.
They should hire me for these.
But yeah, honestly, this is one where like I have never looked too deep into it. I know it's just one that people like. And again, Makima is one of those characters people can never decide. And Alucard too, to a lesser extent. People cannot decide on a fucking matchup for this character. But
it just like it has such the energy of like people like these characters, and they're like, I don't know, maybe. Like, this is the most "is this anything" matchup I've like ever seen for Death Battle. Like Makima versus Alucard. Is this anything? Is this cool? We like these guys, right? They're like rude. They're mean.
They are both mean. Well, Makima isn't that mean. Makima's more just expressionless most of the time. Either way.
Oh, well, let's not get into it, actually. We'll be here forever.
that was the whole point of contention in Makima versus Gojo. Anyway, I'm assuming you have tiered this matchup.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't buy it.
I think this one would be
okay. Let's fucking go.
Sniper TF2 versus Jigen from Lupin the Third. It's weird to see this like massive influx of Lupin the Third matchups kind of come out of nowhere.
They're so right for this.
It's real. It's good. It's incredibly based, personally, but
I agree.
Yeah, I like, this is another one that lives in that like very specific space of obviously it hasn't happened yet, but like it's fucking sick.
It's
a very funny battle.
It's one of those things where like animating this would be very hard, because I cannot imagine how hard it would be to storyboard a fight between two marksmen.
Also, like, this particular matchup, I think these are two characters that are difficult to write. Like, I think would be very easy to write either of these characters in a way that, like, misses the point.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it would be hard to write both of these characters well at once. I think this, for that, and like for the reason you just said of it would be hard to storyboard, would be a really hard matchup to like produce and create.
For sure, yeah.
They already stumbled a bit with the last TF2 one, didn't they?
Scout, yeah, well, yeah.
That one was rough.
Yeah, talking about... Grant, that's like... That shouldn't have been hard to storyboard, is kind of like the thing. Because, like, it's not hard to... Well, I shouldn't say it's not hard, because it's hard to storyboard anything. Like, it's hard to do choreography. Like, I'm not saying it's easy. But for a more close-range gunfight that would be, it is much easier to do that compared to what this would be.
Yeah, there's like a lot of ways to make this one pretty unsatisfying, and like not a lot of ways to make it work. But like in a theoretical world where they just like hit, like they kept the tension of like a very long range, protracted, kind of like waited out sort of fight, while also writing these characters in the ways that make them endearing. I think it could be very cool. I think this could be Peem. I think this could be Peem.
Yeah, this is a fun one. It's one where, like, again, not TF2, because TF2 matchups have happened quite a bit, but Lupin the Third matchups have kind of just had this massive influx recently, but...
Good for them.
This next one is... I'm very curious to hear what y'all's thoughts are.
I mean, I love to see my boy Ichiban. I don't really know. He's the
That's the main protagonist of part 4.
Like,
yeah.
Of part 4.
Yeah.
He's part 4 is like the Scooby-Doo one where the guy who likes hands was from.
Yeah. I know it's my friend's favorite one. It's like a bunch of my friends' favorite one. But
it's very good. It's like much more lighthearted and goofy and not serious than like basically any other part of JoJo's. So it's a lot of people's favorites if that's what they're looking for.
I think I feel like the description of this is kind of this vibes as well, but it's the vibes that I think I kind of dig, you know?
Yeah, I don't entirely know what the connections for this one are. I just know it's a very popular matchup.
I mean, I guess Like a Dragon is kind of the Scooby-Doo of Yakuza.
It's like Josuke's most popular opponent used to be Yu Narukami from Persona, because of course it was.
Yeah, of course.
And then, like, people started kind of getting more into, like, how Persona actually functions and realized JoJo's is mostly incredibly outclassed in terms of Persona versus JoJo stuff. Literally, the only one that was remotely close was Joker versus Giorno, and that was solely because Giorno had GER.
Yeah, like, the thing about JoJo's stands is that they are anime powers for sure, but they're anime powers that are being written specifically for the purpose of telling a story. So, like, they very often intentionally have, and like the JoJo's fights are all puzzle fights. But like for a puzzle fight, it implies there is a solution to the puzzle. Whereas like Persona stuff are just supposed to be like infinitely scaling power for the protagonist, like the form of an RPG character's level up made manifest. So they're just supposed to be like as strong as the sky's the fucking limit, right?
Mm-hmm. That being said, Ichiban would 100% being able to see stands, and I would die on that hill.
Of course. Have you played Like a Dragon? He sees like magical shit all the time.
Yeah, his RPG out brain would 100% be able to see stands. I will die on that hill.
Yeah.
I will also die on that hill.
That's primarily the main reason why I put this on this list, because I think it is very funny to argue the idea of Ichiban actually being one of the few characters who can interact with a stand, not because he has magic powers, but because he's just stupid.
He's so like that. I love my boy Ichiban. He is my son, even though I think he's older than me. I want the best for him. He probably lose, but you know, I love him.
Josuke is like kind of also that character archetype of like dumb of ass, but we love him. Like
dumb of ass.
That's another connection here. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They're like they're the same sort of like I can't believe this is what you're going with, you stupid motherfucker, but like it is working, so I'm not going to stop you. But like, damn, you're fucking dumb. Like both of these characters are like that.
Yeah, I don't have much to say about this one. It's just funny.
Yeah, I like
it. I'm into it. I think it would be fun. I think it would be fun.
Yeah.
Now let's see what you think about this next one. Sorry, I'm just looking at and laughing.
I'm going to kill you. In Minecraft, this is not a threat. This is not. I did not mean it. This is a joke. It's a joke on the internet. I cannot believe this is the first thing I'm putting into surprise that hasn't happened yet.
Awesome, real though.
I'm surprised this hasn't been like an April Fool's ass episode where they put all of their quality into it, like actual proper research and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, like this is so believable.
Yeah.
Like they're enough in the internet zeitgeist that this would be a matchup they'd actually do, and there's a really good meta reason for doing it.
They did Among Us versus Fall Guys like years after its relevancy.
Yeah. God, I remember playing Bubsy. That was hell.
Bubsy 4 coming out soon.
I have never
played Bubsy 4D.
I have never played Bubsy. I did play Gex once, with Ty and Skybells. And playing the game made me nauseous, so I gave up like 2 hours in.
Valid. Yeah, isn't it like kind of like motion sick vibes? And also he just doesn't stop talking. I remember that.
Oh,
Gex
yeah, he does.
Never shuts up. It is unbelievable. I've played all the Gex games. I've played a lot of the 2D Bubsy games because, regrettably, I keep doing stream things with people who like to make you play Bubsy as, like, a form of the game show. So
Yep,
like I
yep,
played a lot
yep,
of
yep.
Bubsy.
The
Both these guys are intolerable. I hate them.
the only time I've been on the arcade pit, Ty Tuesday, and I think it was like my first or second meeting with him, was like, Sonia, you should play Bubsy on stream in front of all these people on arcade pit. And I'm like, great.
And this is one episode where if the writing's bad, it's just true to the characters.
It's so true. They don't even have
You
to
cannot
try.
find a way to write this bad enough. There's like no way for you to write this bad in a way that can't just be explained away as irony.
Mhm. I think the entire episode should just be them talking and then talking over the top of each other.
It's just like the Tezande stream.
Yeah.
Of them just constantly layering over each other.
Yeah, exactly like that.
Yeah, anyway, Bubsy dies if he like stubs his toe. So this
True.
is like 10-0 matchup for Gex, but like you know, they can get a few minutes of them yapping before that happens.
Anyway, speaking of matchups that will probably never happen.
God, what
I
is
can
wrong
see.
with this?
I love this fucking matchup so much. It's so funny.
I'm just thinking how much of the hubris of man would be if they worked together. Like, their death battle should then be actively trying to work together, but the paranoia and hubris causes them to grow apart.
Yeah, this is one where, like, under traditional death battle, this does not work. Because neither of these characters throw hands. However, we are getting Light versus Columbo at some point. So, like, that'll be a good litmus test to see how these more, like, non-combatant but intelligence-based matchups could go. And as long
Columbo accidentally writes Light's name in the death, easy.
As long as Liam doesn't, like, write it as a complete solid JJ or Gianni Matrigano skit, it'll be interesting. But yeah, two characters who avoid their crimes by hiding in plain sight effectively.
I think this is conceptually worse in every way than Columbo versus Light. And that's something that's like actually this is like a 50-50 if only because there is a better matchup and it's being made.
I mean,
like I would watch this if it did exist, but
it depends on like what you want out of it, I guess. Because like Columbo versus Kira is the, you know, detective catching killer thing. This is two criminals working to stop each other from messing around in their business, effectively. Because, like, Light would target Heisenberg. Like, that's something he would do in canon. And
true.
Walt would try and stop Light from killing him. But from a writing... How do I put this? It's something that is more fitting for, like, actually written form rather than a thing.
This is a fan fiction prompt.
Basically.
This is a very good fan fiction prompt, but yeah.
Yeah, this would be cool to read. The problem with this is that it is a normal man versus a wizard. So, like... Eventually,
like, right?
It's hard to animate these two like looking at computers at 50, 100,000 miles away from each other until Light eventually picks up a notebook and writes a name in it and then goes back to his computer. Like that's this death battle. It doesn't work.
Yeah, I mean there's something to be said about like intelligence-based fights, but we haven't had one of those before. So
Walter White is projected to win. I don't understand.
I mean, like it's sort of a thing where just like power scaling is already vibes based. Power scaling intelligence is extremely vibes based.
Okay. Is I haven't watched Breaking Bad. Is I'm guessing like his entire identity is like only like Jesse knows that he's the drugs man.
More or less, yeah.
Yeah.
The whole reason why people give Walter the White is Walter the White.
Walter the Grand, Walter the White.
Walter the Win is because his connections with everything is kind of why they give him the win more over Light. It's his connections with the cartel, the DA, Hank. That
Okay, I could see that.
Yeah, that like, kind of thing is why
he could throw money at the problem before Light's like dumb and a teenager, and I think like maybe that like drags him down pretty hard, even if he is a wizard.
But yeah, it's one that conceptually I like a lot. It's just, again, it's a type of idea that has never been tried before. In terms
I'm getting talked into it.
Yeah.
In terms of the animation series Death Battle. And like I said, Columbo versus Light is going to be a good barometer of how these intelligence-based matchups can work. As like I said, as long as Liam doesn't write it too hard into it being a solid JJ or Gianni Matraganda sketch, but
Kobity, I'm gonna hit you with a hot take that I genuinely thought when you first brought this one up.
Mm-hmm.
I think Godzilla versus Hulk was actually an intelligence-based death battle.
To a certain
relatively
extent.
speaking. I think that if you were looking for a prototype for how they're going to handle it, it's actually the one we just watched. I do believe that genuinely.
I agree to a certain extent. It's just the fact that there is fighting in that, whereas these types of matchups likely would not have the characters throwing hands at each other.
Right, but like I think strictly speaking, because the fighting was a known dead end from the beginning, it narratively serves the exact same function as the two characters like doing their preliminary research. Like
Sure.
The preliminary research phase of the intelligence death battle was them showing the audience why the fight is a dead end loop. And then they got into the like intelligence battle portion of it. But like the structure I think largely will end up being the same, just a different flavor of the first half.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be throwing hands is a lot more entertaining than Google. But yeah, like these sorts of matchups, it remains to be seen. Is kind of the long and short of it, I'd say. So yeah, I'm assuming y'all have fair. This tiered.
I put it in 50-50. It was the bottom of 50-50, and now it's the top of 50-50. Like, I'd watch it.
Anyway,
I got talked up a lot.
Back to a more normal matchup.
I don't know who it is on the
I don't know
right.
either of these men.
That is Darth. Yeah, that is Darth Revan from KOTOR on the left.
Oh.
That is the Dark Urge from Baldur's Gate 3 on the right.
Oh, I dig it now. I get it. I understand it.
I must conscientiously. I must abstain. I don't know these. I don't know them. I can't.
So the entire thing is that they have amnesia. They're kind of good guys now, and they're fighting against the dark past. It's literally a dark guy talking to them, saying like, "Hey, you should be fucked up and evil."
Yeah, they are both.
Yeah.
They are both former big time villains in their respective universes that got amnesia and are now molded to the player's fit effectively in terms of how they act.
Sure. This one's not for me just because I don't know, but I'd have no like opposition to it.
Yeah. I understand where this comes from, you know? Like this actually makes sense. There is, you know, with the death battle matchups I like, there's like understanding as to why these guys are fighting, even if I'm not knowing who they are all the time. This one makes a lot of sense to me.
Oh yeah, like I would say a lot of like, or at least a good number of the characters shown thus far would have no qualms killing each other.
Yeah.
This one especially.
I've never done a Dark Urge run because I don't like to be fucked up and evil, even though I know it's kind of more canon.
I was gonna say, the Dark Urge in Baldur's Gate 3 isn't like explicitly a nasty route, because you don't have to play the Dark Urge as nasty. They do.
There's still fucked up things that just happen.
Yeah, I was gonna say there are fucked up things that happen around you by virtue of your character's existence, but you don't have to play them as the bad person.
But I like one of the people who gets bad things happen in the Dark Urge. So I'm just like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to.
Totally understandable. I'm assuming, Matt, you are not going to tier this, so Sonia, it's all up to you.
I put it in 50-50.
Okay, fair.
I just don't know.
I feel like if it was gonna be on a death battle, it would be a lot like the Skyrim versus Dark Souls one, and I thought that was a pretty cool one.
I will say, actually, this one actually kind of has a non-0% chance of possibly happening this year.
Oh?
Really? Yeah, on a fireside chat a while back, someone donated a super chat to Deathball and asked about how if there was any interest in getting D&D and D&D characters on the show at some point. And Ben kind of gave an answer that was really interesting in that he just said, "Stay tuned."
Oh, okay.
So, and this was this was after the pitch for Doom versus Vecna was kind of making the rounds. So it would have been too soon for that. So, and this is kind of the other like super popular one that has been happening in relation to like D&D related death battles. So it's something that could totally happen.
I think it'd be pretty cool.
I doubt it'll be like the Halloween episode, but who knows?
Christmas, yay!
Yeah, now talking about how I was talking about there are characters on this list I know barely anything about.
Oh, Scar versus
Kahlua versus Scar. Kahlua, Hunter. Kurapika, right. Sorry. I forget their names. It's been a while since I've read Hunter x Hunter. This is the chain. This is like the boy with the... He's like a nasty little lad with fucked up chains, if I remember.
Yeah, I do know
that. And he has special eyes, doesn't he?
Right here in the same tiny car! Yeah, these are like the Vengeance These are like the Blowjob Brothers, parentheses, vengeful. They're both like... They're both dyed-in-the-wool Avengers, real angry.
And yeah, give me 1 second to welcome the Raiders. Hello everybody. We are talking about death battle matchups, theoretical ones that have not happened yet. As you can see pinned, there is a live tier that you can do. It is not in the same order that we are doing, just by virtue of how Tier Maker works. But yeah, we're just going through characters that the internet should think fight each other effectively.
I don't think the little kid would win this. But I also don't think Scar would actually hurt a child unless they're actually out.
Correct. From what I understand, Kurapika isn't like a kid, like in the same way that Gon and Killua are.
But you know, I think Scar would win. He's like entire thing is he just disintegrates people. That's a child. 18 is a child to me.
That's fair.
Also, like, people have been mentioning this in chat. Kurapika is like very focused in what he is doing. Like, his enemy is a nail, and so his power is hammer. Like, Scar just, like you said, kind of just explodes you nothing personnel kid. So this is a this is a toughie for sure.
Yeah, I watched the first few episodes of Full Metal Alchemist. Just kind of never went back to it for no reasons, no fault of its own. And I've never watched a Red Hunter.
Full Metal Alchemist is my favorite anime of all time. So I would like to see more of it. But I think the interesting part about Full Metal Alchemist is that even though it has flashy battles, it's kind of a little bit how the other week we talked about Chainsaw Man.
Yeah, it's not about the action figures fighting each other.
Yeah, it has some very intense things to say about history and, what we do to people and war and stuff. But Scar would probably fuck up a dude because that's kind of his entire thing.
Yeah.
War is bad.
True.
Scar is kind of like one of those characters that is he's representative of like consequences. And because of that because of that narrative function in the story, he is like extremely dangerous, like because of what he's supposed to represent. Like, and Kurapika is, in contrast, a protagonist that gets to lose because he's going through a character arc a lot of the time. So it's like kind of a difference in scale of what these characters are meant to accomplish in their respective stories. And like because of that, Scar's just kind of probably like hydrogen bomb versus coughing baby in a lot of ways. Literal bomb. Like he explodes the coughing baby.
Salem, no. Thus far, the only Full Metal Alchemist character to have an episode has been Edward, and it was Dyer. I see Sonia in the back remembering Aang versus Edward Elric.
I've never seen it, and I don't want to see it, but just
that's right. I never showed it to you. I showed it to Matt.
I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. I think Matt was talking about. Matt was talking about how he never thought I could actually get mad at a death battle, and no, actually now I remember that Edward versus Aang exists, and that's the thing that would give me a hernia.
Avatar has never had a good episode on the show. It's actually amazing.
Yeah.
Well, that's not true. Korra versus Storm was okay, but
that makes me angry because they're both actual pacifists, and like that's how I just said about Full Metal Alchemist being a thing about like more than about battles. That's it right there. That's it right there.
I think I remember like having the same complaints to Co-Buddy when I watched it with them. Like I think a big sticking point for me was like there are a lot of death battles where the characters wouldn't do this, but like that is really one where the characters wouldn't do this, like to the detriment of the premise.
Yeah.
Anyway, we don't have to worry about Aang killing anyone in his upcoming episode because he loses the Genshin Impact protagonist.
This is what I feel. I forgot about it. Okay, I'm gonna actually have a hernia.
I forgot about Genshin Impact.
I forgot about Genshin Impact. Anyway, I'm assuming you all have tiered this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would be. I almost considered putting it in surprise it hasn't happened, but like, I do think like Hunter x Hunter is like more niche in Western anime communities than it kind of could be. And B,
Hmm.
it is kind of a hydrogen bomb coughing baby situation until like very recently. So
Yeah.
like, and even with like Hunter x Hunter boat arc taken into consideration, it's still real rough for Chain lad, 18-year-old, legally an adult.
The little baby.
But yeah.
Keanu Reeves versus Chicken.
That is Keanu Reeves. Yeah,
This
this
is
is
like
Jacket
Jonathan
versus.
Wanathan, right?
Yeah, this is
John Wick.
explicitly John Wick. Yeah.
Well, yeah. What's the guy on the left?
That is Jacket from Hotline Miami.
I mean, I don't know anything.
Have neither of
defer
you
to
played
guys.
Hotline Miami?
I have. I
Okay.
just crime guy. He's doing crimes. I'm. It's. Sorry, I'm just like thinking about the other John Wick, the real John Wick death battle,
But
and like
Bond, yeah.
and like all I'm thinking is I think I would be really into this if it was similar to that one. Like
It would most likely be. It would be a lot more improvised weaponry, compared to Bond versus Wick. Since I mean that's the whole thing in Hotline Miami is Jacket uses whatever the fuck he picks up off the ground. But compared to Bond, who has his whole kit of bullshit.
yeah.
In a way, it would be like almost lower in scale than even John Wick versus Bond was, and that was already very low in scale.
Yeah, I think the low power scale death battles are often very fun, to be honest.
They lead for some interesting choreography because they, by nature, they have to be more choreography focused than some of the other high tier episodes where, they're slinging plants at each other and shit.
Yeah, they can't lean on spectacle as much. So they have to, if they want to make it good, which they do, they have to be a little more deliberate in the writing and choreography. And I think that has the potential to produce some very interesting episodes.
Yeah.
That's what be up to I dig it if it's going to be like that kind of battle.
Yeah.
I dig it. I'm into it.
Yeah.
It's
like, I don't really know much about either, but like if it's that kind of battle, those are my favorite kinds.
Yeah, when it's just two dudes slugging at each other, fighting game episodes.
Yeah, there was the one where it was two boxing guys. I don't remember anything about them, but it was a really good battle.
There's not a lot to say about Jacket other than he kills a lot of people. I mean, you can go into like the whole story of Hotline Miami, because like obviously Jacket isn't part of Hotline Miami 2, but you can go into his impact on 2. But anyway.
Power Rangers Battle for the Grid mentioned.
As Skeletor on the left.
I figured.
Yeah, versus Zed.
Versus Lord Zed from Power Rangers, yeah.
Well, I don't really remember much of either, other than, I am not nice.
That's, I mean...
These are both... They're like kind of goofy and... They're big hams. They're very like corny villains in a way that people like. Like, they demand to be taken seriously. You cannot really take them seriously, but they are threatening enough that you do kind of have to take them seriously. And so they end up being like very fun villains in a lot of like if not their initial appearances, in like later appearances where people increasingly lean in to the kayfabe and make them like progressively goofier and goofier.
It's sort
I
of
think
like
this would
Team
be a fun
Rocket?
one.
what was that?
So they're kind of like Team Rocket?
Yeah, kind of.
If Team Rocket was actually threatening, like if
Yeah.
they did have the potential to cause some very serious damage if they like accomplished their goals.
Like they're
Okay, cool.
it's kind of that trope of they're very goofy, silly, hammy villains, but also when they actually do evil shit, they're fucking scary.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
it's to scale. Like you do have to stop them. Like it's important.
Okay.
Zed started off so threatening, parents wrote in because children were scared. That's so funny.
Oh, it's adorable.
Yeah, that's part of why they like progressively made him goofier. And I think honestly it's better off for it.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah, this is one where, like, for me personally, I am kind of surprised it hasn't happened.
Yeah, honestly, same.
It's just sort of that kind of classic sort of mashup, like style and tone and all that. That, like, yeah, it's just kind of a slam dunk one.
Very much up there in surprise that hasn't happened yet for me as well. I would watch the hell out of this.
Same. I mean, I watch every episode, but like, yeah, same.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, next one is one that I personally pop off for. We'll see what your two opinion is.
Yo,
I think
Kamen
this would
Rider's
be
fun.
Yeah, I think this would be a cute matchup.
Yeah, specifically the
I'm
Kamen
into it.
Rider Ichigo, the first Kamen Rider. Versus the first Avenger and sort of the birth of comic books in a way.
I think the only thing that's holding it back to surprise it hasn't happened is how the fuck would these guys fight? Why the fuck? I should say. You know?
Yeah, very why are these two fighting matchup.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, and I think I'm kind of surprised that like two big icons haven't fought each other, but you know.
Captain America has had one episode, and it was in season 1, which is so weird to say. Actually, it might have been season 2. I can't remember when Batman vs. Captain America happened.
Oof.
Reminder, Batman's been on 4 times. Captain America and Spider-Man, once.
Yeah,
Wait.
literally who? Spider who? Captain what?
Is it really Miles, like, as in Peter Parker, or the Spider-Man full stop?
What do you mean?
Oh, like, was it literally Spider-Man versus Deku the first time they've ever been on it?
No, I mean Peter Parker.
Gotcha.
Yeah, which again, I will repeat myself that I said a while ago. Death Battle's base as fuck for saying Miles is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
True.
It's true. And that's why I got confused. Because I thought Miles had been on this twice. So I was like, huh?
Miles has been on twice, actually.
Yeah.
He fought Static in season 7.
Didn't he lose there too?
Yeah, he did.
Poor Miles.
He also died by exploding in that one, too.
Oh. Dude, fix up your robot outfit, please.
Fix your shirt.
But yeah, I want Kamen Rider to be on the show real bad. Despite the fact that I have never watched anything in Kamen Rider, I just think Kamen Rider is kind of dope as fuck. Also, one thing I am very much hoping for, because as part of the Kickstarter, one of the Kickstarter stretch goals was to have the Ismahawk studio doing another live action episode. Kinda hoping it's this.
That would be very cool.
Have intentionally cheesy, fucking Kamen Rider style explosions and shit happen. I think it'd be very fun.
It was actually, yeah, I remember it was a really good episode, actually. It was Winter Soldier versus Red Hood, right?
Yeah, they also did Daredevil versus Nightwing a while back, though that one wasn't as good.
Oh, you haven't showed it to me, though? I like both of those guys.
I had... So that's kind of the secret. There's a lot of episodes I haven't shown either of you because they're, like, fine.
Okay. Fair enough.
Like, unless we were doing a thing where we just watched every single fucking episode.
Yeah, but, you know, Daredevil versus Nightwing kind of makes sense, though.
I will say, Daredevil versus Nightwing, it's better than Aang versus Edward.
I think any of them would be.
Well...
I'll
give Aang versus Edward this. Didn't have part of the background not rendered. As I just see Sonya vibrating. So yeah, I'm assuming y'all have this one tiered.
Yeah.
Surprised it hasn't happened yet.
I'm into it.
This is gonna be one where, like, Adam versus Prometheus, where I'm probably going to have to explain both these characters.
I know I played Overwatch, regrettably.
Yeah. Is that Reaper?
No.
No, it's Zenyatta's. It's his other. It's like his brother.
It's his boyfriend.
The other
Yeah,
robot, the mean one.
That was Ramatra. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a good robot Buddhist and there's a stinky robot Buddhist, and this is the stinky one.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the Magneto Zenyatta's Professor X is kind of the best way to put it.
Shit.
One on the left is Adam Torres from RWBY.
I have no idea who that man is. I know
so-
RWBY through the lens of a fighting game only.
So you know how Ramatra is like the leader of a terrorist organization for the oppressed robots because there's robo-racism in Overwatch?
Yeah,
Adam is that, but for furries.
nice. Get him.
I mean, I don't want to tell you, they're both Magneto analogs. Like, that's kind of the long and short of it.
You know what? Sure.
Though Adam sucks a lot more because he's also a fucking creepy ex-boyfriend.
Wasn't he Blake's boyfriend?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know any of them, so, you know, what's this gonna be and not into it unless you guys could sell it to me, and you're definitely not selling it, so...
Probably not. I mean,
it's not into it.
It's better than Adam's previous most popular matchup, which was Jetstream Sam. Because, they're both their whole things is that they have, like, a shooting mechanism in their scabbards that can shoot their swords out, and they do things like that.
Okay.
That's basically the entire connection between Adam and Jetstream Sam. Like, I don't know what else you want me to give you.
There's Reaching, and then there's that.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time we've had episodes based on extremely not their connections, but...
Yeah.
I know.
Like,
I know.
Gray versus Esdeath existed because they both used ice, I guess. I will say, Ramatra is actually very cool. Like, both from a gameplay perspective, and he's probably one of the only good parts of Overwatch's robo-racism writing.
Okay.
And that he is actually kind of an interesting character. But
I'll just take your word for it.
Adam sucks dick.
Yeah. He's mean to Blake, I remember. So therefore he must die. I know it's a bit more than this that, and we all need to get into it. He's just a meanie pants, so he can die.
You know, that's so fair. Anyway.
Okay, so I know that this will never happen.
No, probably not.
I do see what's happening here, I think.
Yeah, my goat on the right is carrying me through Darkest Dungeon with his 2 guaranteed critical attacks.
That
and,
is
ability to be effective from any position.
Yeah, that is on the right. That is Kahara, or not Kahara, Dismas or the Highwayman from Darkest Dungeon, and on the left is Kahara or the Mercenary from Fear and Hunger.
Funga
Frickin' mentioned.
Funga mentioned, let's go! Yeah, this one I put on solely because of my own personal biases.
Yeah.
This is like the most ever this should happen, but of course it fucking didn't. What are you, crazy? What do you mean you're surprised it hasn't happened yet? You know why it hasn't happened yet.
First ever death battle to get first ever death battle to get 2 views.
And it's you, and then you again when you show it to us. No, like I really do like this as a matchup. I think it would be very cool. I can understand why these are matchups because they are mercenary guys in a place that's really fucked up.
Very similar tones, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, you would not want to see them do an analysis of this because all the censorship would take forever.
God, all the beepuses they'd have to censor.
All the beepuses, all them. I know there's like a censorship mode, but like just, that's a lot of beepus. That's a lot of things that you're not quite sure you want to put on the even censored.
Also, yeah, quickest demonetization.
Yeah.
Took Spawn versus Ghost Rider like an hour to get monetized. This one's getting demonetized in a minute.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's one that would have a very cool choreography, very cool atmosphere, potentially very cool writing. Never fucking happening.
Exactly.
Not in a million years, but I do dig it.
Yeah, it's like this is probably the biggest digging that I like so far because I do think, like 2 guys beating each other up, this would be the most of beating each other up and losing limbs. It'll be so fucked up. Positive. And that's it.
Kobe's dream. Honestly, no, this isn't my dream. It's like one of my favorite matchups. It's not my quote-unquote dream match. That would probably be Android 17 versus Testament, which weirdly enough, I have not put on any of these yet.
You gotta hold out the hope that someday they'll understand peak.
Are there any Funga 2 matchups that are popular? Yes, actually. Marco versus Brad from Lisa.
Oh. Yeah,
that's like the main one I know of.
Can Marco stand the raw power of Armstrong style karate? I don't fucking think so.
Anyway, this next one's one that's in a very similar vein to Walter White versus Light.
I was waiting for this one. I was waiting for this one. I don't know much about Saul. Is he a lawyer or a prosecutor?
He is a very corrupt defense attorney. Specifically,
I think this would be a very good matchup then.
he's so basically his character arc is that he's an ex-con and he becomes an attorney, and like he goes at it in good faith at first, but like due to essentially nobody being willing to believe it's even possible for him to be doing it on the straight and narrow, he like very quickly becomes incredibly corrupt. And like it's a somewhat compelling story arc of like kind of watching him be forced into the box everyone expects from him, but it's all in service of a prequel to who is Walter White's lawyer and why is he like this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think the way this would work is there's a part in Spirit of Justice where they go to a different country where the defense attorney gets killed if they lose the battle. So that's obviously where it would happen.
That's how Saul dies.
Yeah, that's how Edgeworth wins the death battle. Now you're wondering how Edgeworth would die. He wouldn't, because he would win.
Yeah, and like even with intelligence scaling, that kind of thing being entirely vibes based, Saul's like a dime a dozen character that Edgeworth has dealt with in the past.
Yeah. Like the wackiness that Edgeworth has had to deal with just in the first Ace Attorney game ever. Yeah. He got this.
Saul is a Winston Payne. That's
yeah, you got it.
That's accurate, but damn, that's scathing to Saul.
I put it in surprise it hasn't happened yet, because I think it might happen one day.
It totally could. Like, again, it's one of those where it fully depends on how well received and how good Columbo vs. Light is.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Matt, you're about to say something?
It was like so unimportant that it left my brain as soon as I didn't say it.
Valid.
Yeah, this one's fun. Like, it's one of those where it probably won't happen, but it'd be fun to see it. They try to do it.
I put it in surprise it hasn't happened because I want to make it.
You want to manifest it into reality, I understand.
Yeah.
Put your thumb on the scale a little bit in the only way you can. I get you. I feel you.
Yeah. I think this. I like this. I really like this a lot.
Anyway, back to more normal matchups.
Yeah.
Fremblem mentioned, right?
That is, in fact, Robin from Fire Emblem Awakening, yes.
And is that Terra?
That is Terra, yes. I could not find a good render with her having green hair.
Yes, I'm guessing this is from the Brave Exorcist Tactics game.
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Okay, I dig it.
Yeah, I did some speed runs of Final Fantasy 6, so like this is content that I am into.
Yeah, that's probably from the Gacha Final Fantasy Tactics game. That's why. Yeah. I think that makes sense in a way. The kind of protagonists that have kind of a sinister past. They're both JRPG. I like it. I like these guys. It's not the strongest of matchups, I think, but I'd be happy to see either of them on Death Battle.
Mm-hmm. It would be nice to have a character from a Final Fantasy that isn't fucking 7.
Yeah.
Because that's all we've had thus far is 7 characters. We've had Sephiroth, Tifa, and Cloud twice.
Woohoo!
That being said, does Vivi have any matchups pitched for him? Not really, weirdly enough. Like, the only one that I know that's somewhat popular is Gino from Super Mario RPG.
Don't make the boys fight! Don't make them fight!
Are there any Clive matchups? Yes, actually, there's several. There's Dante from Devil May Cry. There's what's her fucking name from Tales of Berseria?
Oh, that lady. Yeah, that one makes sense, honestly.
The main protagonist from Tales of Berseria. Velvet, yeah, that's her name.
I know who you're talking about.
And then the final one is Eren Yeager. But yeah, this one's like, it's kind of like Alucard versus Makima, where I haven't looked too far into it. I just put it in here because I know it's popular.
JRPGs mention. JRPGs
I'm down.
mention.
So
I think
true.
this would be fun to watch.
Anyway,
I see more vibes. Yeah, go ahead.
now this next one is when I shoot Sonya with a gun.
So
That's Link.
I have been
I
trying.
know him.
Shut up.
Oh, that's Zelda, Matt. Zelda's the boy.
Oh,
I
no.
hate
Fake
you.
Zelda fan.
Yeah, so is this Ellawood?
No, that's Adolf from the East Games.
Okay, Idol. Because, like, I was trying to figure out who that was. But no, that makes a lot of sense. I've never played these games, but I know that like, what their kind of vibe is, you know?
Yeah, the whole kind of thing is they're both fantasy characters that in a series that have the same protagonist in every single game.
Now, are they like a reincarnation, or is it just literally the same guy?
I'm pretty sure it's just the same guy.
Holy shit, there's like 50 of them. Also, what is with Link's arm in that picture? Like, look at his elbow.
That's a Hyrule Warriors render, I believe.
I know where that's from, Cody.
you know what? You know what? You're so right. It was stupid of me to say something like that.
Cody, you fool. You rude. You turn up.
Of course I know what like this is.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, did I cite the deep magic to me, the which I was there when it was written, etc., etc.
His elbow just looks really funny in that picture, okay? It's probably just fine on the full body one, but there's something about that elbow that's like, what the hell?
But yeah,
I'm into this, but the average everyone on the planet is gonna look at you and be like, do I look like I know what an Ys is? So I know why they didn't make. I know why this doesn't exist.
Similarly to like the Judge versus Sans being hard carried by Sans, this would be hard carried by Link. Yeah,
I can see this happening. What was that one with Kilia and the other electric bass girl? I can see that kind of happening. Yeah,
Misaka, that's her name.
Misaka. I can see that kind of happening still, you know?
This is one of those matchups where you find out why it happened in the fourth quarter if you find out why this happened the next quarter that the East Lobby files their taxes, that's when you learn exactly why this happened when you get that information. But like, I would watch this. I would watch this for sure.
Yeah. I mean, sword fights are shockingly very rare in Death Battle. Like, they don't happen a lot.
They're hard to choreograph.
Yeah.
They're really hard to choreograph. Like,
it's true.
Sword fights are infamously hard to make look better than just two guys slapping metal at each other.
So, like, realistically, you'd be losing some limbs. So, unless you want to go that way, then it's just, how do you make sword look cool? I put it in surprise it hasn't happened yet, because I just want more Link stuff.
Once again, trying to manifest it into existence. Anyway, talking about episodes that would be probably extremely similar to, like, Hulk versus Godzilla.
So
I think this one kind of sucks because like what makes characters like this interesting is specifically the way they interact with you as a player of the game, but just like as a character in a vacuum, nothing is interesting about this. Like, it's the characters the action figures are made of are not interested outside of the really interesting way you play with these particular action figures. I think like this is kind of like Aang versus Edward just should not have been a death battle because there is no reason these two would ever fight. In a different way, this shouldn't be a death battle because there is no interesting way this could ever exist. Like, what makes these characters interesting are incompatible with the format of death battle, is my take.
I know that there is a slightly more popular one with the princess, and I know that these end up being in a weird throuple.
Well, okay,
that's
no.
That's my commentary to that.
No, well, okay, that whole thing is very funny where people were trying to figure out whether or not they like the princess or Monica as a Flowey opponent. And so it devolved, I shouldn't say devolved, but it turned into people making ship art of the princess and Monica, and also there's an evil and intimidating flower.
Yeah, and I love that. I think that should happen instead.
That being said, I fully do not agree with you, Matt. I will definitely push back on that.
I want to see this argument.
I think saying there's nothing interesting to these characters outside the scope of their game is a little bit reductive for both these characters.
I think they're very interesting in the scope of their game, but I think like they have to be in the context of their own medium for those interesting things to be apparent, is my take. I think I phrased it poorly. I think the way I said it was a little unfair.
I mean, the main thing too with the princess is Slay the Princess isn't so much meta. I mean, I'm trying to avoid spoiling. I mean, just by putting this together, that's a little bit of spoilers in and of itself. Slay the Princess isn't as metatextual as Undertale is. Like, I would even go so far to say is there aren't actually that many meta elements in Slay the Princess. Like, for the most part, it is closer to an Umineko than it is in terms of
That's fair.
that kind of energy and that kind of metatextualness. And like Umineko does do some stuff, but it is still a story contained within its own universe, unlike something like Undertale. That being said, the part of the reason I do agree to an extent that in a traditional style death battle where it is just slapping action figures together, you're right. This matchup does not work. However, in context where we get a more narrative focused in the vein of Saul versus Edgeworth or Light versus Walter, albeit two very different tones and extents, and these two characters bouncing off each other and their philosophies on their respective worlds bouncing off each other. I think that could be a very interesting idea presented within the context.
I think that's true. I think I would like to refine my statement a bit because I think I agree with you. My initial take was bad. I think what my take really is that like these are two very interesting characters when you like think about them and discuss them, etc. And I think there could be a very interesting story to tell here. But I think the things, and I'm also trying to speak very deliberately to avoid major spoilers, which is why I'm talking the way I am. But like, I think the things that make these characters interesting, those things aren't really compatible with a like 1v1 versus fight told through a medium that isn't kind of their respective games. I think it's like it's hard to use these characters strongly out of context. And I just don't think it works for Death Battle. I think like the Death Bat I think like kind of what was being said of it would be really interesting to read like the Walter White versus L fan fiction. I think this would be a really interesting story to read. But I think like even more than Walter White Light, it is hard to imagine the Death Battle working out pretty well because like the stuff that really elevates characters like this from just like the words on the page to something that really sticks people is the way you engage with them when you go through the original work. Even if like one of them is more meta than the other, just kind of the way you experience the work itself really shapes what makes both of these characters interesting characters. And I think like it's hard to translate that to something like this.
Mm-hmm.
Without knowing about Slay the Princess, I'm guessing it's more like the reveal and what makes them interesting would take them more than just a couple minutes in a battle. Is kind of the idea, right?
Yes and no, I would
Yeah.
say.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, there's a lot of shit to talk about with Slay the Princess in general, but
It's hard to talk about either of these characters without like immediately doing tremendous spoilers for the entire work that they're in.
to be fair, I'd say spoiling Undertale is a lot more fair than spoiling Slay the Princess, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
it has been
Undertale's,
out
like,
for like
15 years.
it
or
can
some shit.
drive, right?
Yeah.
It's got its learner's permit.
Yeah.
Undertale can learn
No,
how
it
to
came out
drive.
yesterday. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Deltarune tomorrow.
Ah! Still stuck today.
But yeah, I mean, I do agree in that this is one where would have to be written very carefully and very deliberately. It is very much very different than any other matchup, but also like I don't know, creativity is the only limit you got, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, that is true. I think like I think like possibly my strong negative reaction comes from like I think something like this I would have very high standards for.
Oh, for sure.
And I like am skeptical that there are a lot of writers who could do this in a way that works with like taking them out of their source material. But like there are some death battles I watched that I would have said this shit could never fucking work and were like peak as fuck. So I don't buy it, but I have the openness to understand me not buying it doesn't mean it's like objectively bad. Like it could be peak.
Yeah, I put in 50-50 for that reason. Like, out of anyone, I think that they would try their best, and I think there would be a chance of it going well. But yeah, I don't know much about Slay the Princess to make a solid point, but I like Undertale. Smiles.
Slay the Princess is a pretty fucking good video game.
Yeah.
Anyway, time to go completely different in tone. That is Doomsday versus SCP-682.
SCP, baby, the stinky lizard that you cannot kill. That's the whole joke is that you can't kill them.
You can't kill that fucking lizard.
That the entire premise of the Lizard SCP, for those who might not be aware, is that they are a creative writing exercise where you add a thing the scientists tried to do to kill it, and also why it didn't work. And it's an endless list of that. It's kind of like a mini game on the SCP wiki, where like the whole bit is an increasingly large list of theoretical ways to kill it and why it was not able to manifest a W. And so it's created this like unbelievable like laundry list of like I suppose you would say in this context feats of like this shit just like cannot fucking die.
Yeah, I mean it's literally the exact same thing with Doomsday too. Is kind of the whole thing. Is their whole thing is they are both big monsters who will adapt big scientific experiments in a way that'll adapt to anything, and even if they do quote unquote die from it, they'll come back and now that thing is impossible to use.
Yeah, these are the type of characters that are very fun to play with for the writer. Because you're just allowed they're just sandbox characters. You're allowed to do whatever the fuck you think is cool, and like everyone will be into it.
Yeah, Yeah, I will say this is probably the most popular SCP like matchup idea for Death Battle. It is at very least the first one that got really popular.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, I mean the main reason is just like, how the fuck do you scale SCP?
Yeah, like
with
where
it
does
being
this go?
With it being a user-driven content thing.
This is also the most playground argument
Oh yeah.
Death Battle ever, because like the problem with this one is nuh-uh is the canonically correct answer for both of these characters at all times. So like I could see it, I actually think the scaling is easy. The scaling is these characters cannot under any circumstances kill each other because that is both of their bit. And that's like the problem. How do you write this? This is like this is one of those where there needs to be a third party involved.
Well, I got great news for you because apparently SCP-682 has its own equivalent to fucking it from Godzilla Singular Point.
Oh.
Got fucking True Form or some shit. I don't know. I don't go with SCP.
Oh shit, I'm not up to date with that lore.
So there's not a matchup with the Weeping Angels and the one that is basically a Weeping Angel?
Probably, but it's not like, I wouldn't say it's popular. It probably exists.
Arya doesn't like it.
They would be a very boring matchup.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
All you do is just watch two guys just move every now and then, and it'll be a very good April Fool's episode, I think.
Yeah, like it's 15 solid minutes of two stationary objects until like a light bulb starts flickering, and then a lot of shit happens within 15 seconds.
Yeah, that would be a very funny. Like I would love to see that.
Also,
I could just do
it. This next matchup, man.
Yeah. Don't make the children fight. That's mean.
I'm actually kind of. I'm putting this. I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet. Not because I'm surprised that at this point in time it hasn't happened yet, but like it's going to happen eventually. And like the longer it goes, like we had a matchup too recently that was like the dads. For this to exist yet, but like a year from now or 2 years from now, I will be surprised it hasn't happened yet if it hadn't, if that makes sense.
Let me tell you why this matchup is probably never going to happen.
Okay.
This is such an utter colossal wash for Gohan. Like, there is no snowball's chance in hell that Mark can win this.
True, that's actually true. DBZ is like crazy.
Like, the only reason why Omni-Man won against Bardock is because Bardock is before shit got crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, you get to a certain point in DBZ where characters like are able to tear between the wall of universes by yelling. And that's like 40 seasons ago is where that's where they were in the power scaling.
You know what it does mean, though? It means we get to cover the Beerus versus Goku Fist Clash again!
No! Okay, I'm gonna take that not into it just for that.
Yeah, this one is like... I rarely...
still think they're gonna do it.
Actually, the Death Battle crew has actually outright stated that because of how much of a watch it is, they're not that into it, to the extent that, like, they said if they did do it, they would have to make it Cell Saga Gohan to make it even close to fair.
Oh, that's so sad. You're making the actual baby fight a guy.
It's so
I will be making a new this. I've relabeled D tier as they literally said they won't do this. This is my D tier for this episode. I've glanced at the rest, and there's nothing else here that like either A pisses me off or B I think would be a funny bit to put in D tier. So like it's being repurposed.
This is one where like it has its shooters. And, like, I'm not the type of person to let debatability usually influence my thoughts on, like, whether a death battle matchup is good or not. But, man, there is such a wide gulf here.
Poor guy. I can understand why people have matched them together, in the sense of narrative and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, thematically, like, yeah, it makes total sense.
That's what I was thinking of at first, but then you're like, remember, there, like, I forgot about power scaling. Like,
like, just from a narrative thing, I don't think it would be kind of similar narratively almost to fucking Deku versus Miles.
Yeah, so there's really no point in it.
Kinda,
yeah.
Yeah.
I did put it on here because it is very funny to talk about how bad it is, though.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on from that.
Cars. Or AC/DC, I forget which one this is.
That's Cars.
It's one of them. It's Cars, yeah. That's what I thought. I was hedging my bets, though. Yay, I recognize my JoJo!
And Meruem from Hunter x Hunter.
I don't know any of these guys.
Sonya, same. I just know it's a very popular matchup and I put it on here.
I thought the guy on the right was actually a Yu-Gi-Oh guy.
So JoJo's part 2. The main antagonists are the Pillar Men. They are.
Oh no! Is he one of the
3 ancient guys? Yeah, he's like Pillar Man, leader man. They're like guys who were. They found them from ancient times. They were like in stone pillars, and they're just burly punch men that are just like very powerful. They have like vaguely magical powers. This was before Stan's up at like the first 2 anyway. Cars like becomes a living immortal god, and that's like when things start going off the rails. But like the thing about Cars is like they could not beat him. They threw him into space forever because he was like unkillable and immortal. And
sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was gonna get into the other man, but
Don't they like the Pillar Man? Because I did watch part 2. They had the weird the vein things that happened, right? Like body horror stuff.
Yeah, they're like arms twisted in weird ways, and they like dislocated joints.
Yeah, and that's probably why I don't remember Cars, is because every time they showed up, I closed my eyes because it really was one of the few things that would actually make me queasy.
Yeah, anyway, let's talk about the other body horror character, Meruem.
No!
Yeah.
You want to talk about ants with human characteristics?
Like, kind of the big through line connecting these two, besides them being like fucked up powerful body horror guys, is that like both the Chimera ants and the Pillar Men are like styled to be species that consider themselves superior evolutions of humanity, more or less, and are like, these are the 2 let's just kill everyone, we're unbelievably strong guys that nobody can like kind of touch in the context of our stories type guys. Meruem kind of goes in a different direction because it ends up being a different story being told. But when they're both at their prime as antagonists, they are like, we are the better humanity, but we are the best of the better humanity. So everyone better fucking watch out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that was less gross than I thought it was gonna be. There's like 2 anime moments where I cannot watch it, and the one it was the Pillar Man, and the other one was the spider arc from Demon Slayer. That was painful to get through.
But yeah, like I said, I know very little about both of these characters, so as a matchup, I mean, people like it. I know that much.
Yeah, they're both like they both have kind of like they do both gross body stuff, but like a big through line between these two is that they are outside of specific circumstances almost entirely impossible to kill. Like but in it but they can the difference between this and like Godzilla versus Hulk is that both of them theoretically can be. And that like changes the axis that the death battle would have to go because like with Godzilla versus Hulk, the presupposition is they just never will be able to because it won't stick.
Mm-hmm.
But like it could stick with either of these characters, and with one of them it does, but like you have to go places, and these are also two characters who could maybe go those places with kind of how they like do things. So I understand why this is, and so since they're both similar, at least initially, in how they are antagonists in their story arc and have a similar power set and like kind of end boss status. I understand why this is a very powerful, why it's a very popular matchup.
Mm. Yeah, it's not to mention it's a JoJo's matchup that doesn't involve stands. So
Yeah,
that's
this
an
was the last
interesting
pre-stand guy, more
Yeah,
or
that's an
less.
interesting part in and of itself.
I think,
Cars does get washed. Cars does get like dog walked, but I understand why this is popular.
I think in the scenario that it would happen, it'd be very good, and therefore I would not be into it because I'd have to watch body horror. And yeah,
Well, don't worry.
that'd be the time.
We're not doing a body horror matchup next.
I get it.
This is stupid, but I'm into it.
Yeah, I get it. This is cute, I think. Like, I don't know too much about each one, but it makes sense, you know?
Yeah, this one is Boba Fett, yes. Now, this is like the one I wanted to have happen instead of versus Predator. But versus Predator happened, and well, we certainly saw how it happened.
This one's fun.
It would have a focus a lot on the kind of spaceship battle.
Yeah.
Unlike Predator versus Boba, where it was fucking just the two on land fighting.
But being like being like very skilled pilots are important to both of these characters. Like,
yeah,
Wolf is just Star Fox, but stinky and mean in a lot of ways. He's like Fox's foil. So
yeah,
being good at flying ship is something he's built for.
Also, yeah, I mean, they're both bounty hunters. That's kind of the big thing.
Yeah.
Also, the track name for this matchup would be called Dogfight, and I think that's funny.
That is really good. I like this. I don't have much to say on it, but I think it'd be a good battle.
Yeah, it's probably unlikely to happen since this would be Boba Fett's 4th time coming onto the show, but technically,
yeah, it's
second or technically third if you don't count the Boba Fett versus Samus remake they did for like episode 100 or whatever as a second appearance, but
yeah. Anyway. Not much to say. It's pretty solid.
I like this one.
Yeah, this one's cute as well.
Cuphead Devil versus Hades Hercules. It's very funny.
There's a part of me that's kind of surprised it hasn't happened. I get
Yeah,
it.
kind of
Like,
same.
yeah, I can see it happening a lot, you know?
If Cuphead was if the Cuphead show did a little better on Netflix, like,
we also
or whatever streaming service it was on.
We also probably just need Cuphead on the show first before Devil, but
Yeah.
Disney is very litigious. I mean, to be fair, Death Battle, they did get Mickey on.
Yeah.
Granted, it was Kingdom Hearts Mickey, but
yeah,
they still put Mickey.
Yeah, they got a Disney character in here, which means Disney took their hand off the piece. Sky's the limit now.
No, they have to worry about fucking, oh god, I'm suddenly blanking on the company name. Dragon Ball people.
No.
Toei! Yeah, that's it. They have to worry about Toei because they got, Beerus vs. Galaxia taken down and never came back up.
Except on the website.
Yeah, it's on their website. That's a big thing. But yeah, Toei will fucking not let Sailor Moon on the show apparently.
I get that one. I actually do get that one. They do not want those characters murdering or being murdered.
That's kind of valid.
But they do that in Sailor Moon.
But in a very, very shoujo way. This is a very shonen way.
But like, in Sailor Moon, they were exhibiting girl power when they like killed the bad guy. So it's like different.
Yeah, a very shoujo way.
Yeah, this one's funny. It's not like super popular, but it's like popular enough.
Yeah, I'm into it.
I don't know if it'll happen anytime soon. And then, you know what? I'm not even gonna say anything. I'm just gonna hit the next slide.
What is wrong with these people?
I don't like looking at Baki stuff. Is that his name?
That's Yujiro from Baki, yeah?
Yeah,
Baki.
It's a Baki character. You got that correct. It is like the second, but so there's Baki, but like no one gives a fuck about Baki. People give a fuck about this guy. This is a Hanra Yujiro. The thing that matters about this man is he is like the ultimate shitty, awful the guy. He's like the worst of all time. But he's just like the strongest man on the planet, so he just does whatever he wants.
Yeah.
And like, since he's a really shitty guy, it's always bad.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
but it's like played to the point of comedy. Like, he walks into the White House and like calls the president a dumb motherfucker and tells him what to do. And like everyone's just like, I fucking hate this guy, but like we gotta do it or he'll murder the president and we can't stop him because he's too strong. And that's kind of like that's like half of his character. The other half is everything he does is to like piss off his son. Just like to annoy his son. He lives to fuck with Baki in the most like petty, annoying ways possible.
So he's like Reverse Flash, but for his son.
Yes, he is Reverse Flash for his son. If Reverse Flash got to do whatever he wants because everyone on the planet was convinced he could punch a hole in the moon if anyone told him no.
Okay.
Fun to bring up moons.
Nani?
And on the right is Sporticus from Lazy Town.
Yeah. You know.
So the whole through line of this matchup is they are both kind of the epitome of human fitness in a way.
Yeah.
What?
along different lines. But
Very different
Sportacus
lines,
is
yes.
popular. Yeah, Sportacus is popular among power scalers because if you it's very funny how unreal this character is if you like power scale him in good faith. Because Lazy Town is a kid's show, and he's like the ultimate healthy boy, the athlete man who shows kids exercise is cool, and he does that by like running around the planet 4,000 times in half a second. So like when you look at his power scaling feats, the numbers are like unbelievable.
Yeah, it's very funny. The way I think Liam Swan, one of the head researcher for Death Battle, described this matchup is, it's effectively the more serious version of Popeye versus Saitama.
That makes sense.
That's a good way of putting it, yeah.
Yeah, as soon as I heard that as a gay character, I was like, yeah, that kind of sounds like Popeye.
But yes, Sportacus most likely wins, which is very funny to consider.
Yeah, it's really good, because, like, Baki is fucking stupid.
Baki is so stupid.
It is at a scale. Like, it's martial arts at an unbelievably fucked up scale, but they do have kind of, like, a strike radius, and Sportacus just, like, does fucking whatever. Like, who gives a shit? He'll run into space to cook a marshmallow on a star and come back in 15 minutes type stuff. Like,
the best way I saw Baki described was it was JoJo's Bizarre Adventure stands, but the human body can just do that shit.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
It's just such a fucking hilarious way of putting Baki. Non-0% chance this matchup happens, by the by.
It would be fun to see Yujiro get dog walked by Sportacus. Like, Baki is funny taken out of context if you just look at like the piss triangle or whatever, but like Baki is like kind of a gross manga to read through in a lot of ways. And like Yujiro is bad in ways that are like not haha funny stinky man, and like, oh, this is like a despicable guy and I'm uncomfortable reading stories about him sort of ways. So like the same way watching Homelander get like turned into a smear would be satisfying, this would be a satisfying matchup as well in that exact same vein.
It does. I'm pretty sure like Yujiro does in fact like flat out lose a lot of his most popular matchups, which is very funny. Like his younger Toguro, which I'm pretty sure he loses, and he has Akuma.
Yeah, like a lot of what Yujiro's stuff is like oh, he got into Fort Knox by tearing the door open with his bare hands, and he beat up everyone inside and no one could do anything about him. And then if you were to ask like, okay, what if someone shot him with like a really big harpoon? The answer would be, then he'd die. Of course. Are you fucking stupid? He's like a guy, right? Like he'd catch it so he wouldn't get hit by it because he's like that powerful and based and cool and epic. But like if it did hit him, he'd like fucking die, you moron. Like that's kind of what Yujiro is like in a way.
Anyway, back to Disney.
I'm pretty sure they have like a child together in a spin-off or something at this point, so you know.
Yeah, they're married.
I don't know if they're actually married, but I wouldn't be surprised. They feel like they'd be a toxic relationship.
Oh
They've
yeah,
been in a long-term relationship, but neither of them they can't like agree on the prenup, so they're never like quite getting married. But they have like it's been such a long time that most people, it's like a common law marriage at this point.
Yeah, they can't agree on who tops. Yeah, yeah.
Their kids are friends, but not siblings.
Oh yeah, they totally fuck. So it has happened technically, just not in Death Battle.
Maleficent and Jafar did in fact interact in Kingdom Hearts, yes.
And the spin-offs. There's more than spin-offs. Yeah, the Descendants.
Oh god, Descendants!
Come on, man. Come on! And then there's Gacha where they definitely hung out before as well.
Fucking Twisted Wonderland.
And House of Mouse. They've definitely interacted in that.
True.
Yeah. So, it has happened.
This is the same series matchup at this point. A little bit. It's a very...
Yeah.
It's skirting that line.
Yeah. I think it'd be cool, honestly.
I'm into it.
I'm into it.
This is one where I am also a little surprised it has not happened yet. Possibly solely because they were worried about how litigious Disney would be. But
that's the reason should probably happen. I dig it for me. I initially put it up there, and then I'm like, no, I know why they haven't done this. And then I moved it down.
Yeah, they're probably more willing now that they've used Mickey fucking Mouse.
No take backsies, hands off the piece. You moved it.
We get to use seats now. Teehee.
The series is Disney. I mean, yes. Granted, Disney owns half the planet at this point, so like you could put anything.
True. You could put Disney versus Star Wars, and it's the same series matchup.
Same series matchup, yeah. Technically, Rocket Raccoon versus Stitch was the same series matchup.
Yippee! Yoda versus Mickey Mouse was this.
Exactly. Actually, yeah, that's true. Anyway.
See, I think this is a cool matchup, but only for my fanfiction best friend kind of. Because this is Percy Jackson, right? And
yes, that's Percy Jackson on the left.
Yeah, and I really understand why this exists, but I don't want them to fight. It's like the Owl House and the Amphibia one. It's like, they'd be really good friends. Don't fight.
Zag takes this, right? Dog, I don't fucking know.
I mean,
like,
if it's on Earth or not.
I'm pretty well versed in like who would win most of these. I ain't got shit on this. But yeah, this is a matchup that is not particularly popular.
Yeah, one of these is like a child.
Well,
he's just a little kid.
That doesn't stop people from wanting Percy Jackson on the show. It just, this isn't who they want Percy Jackson to fight.
Who?
It's who you would probably expect.
That's right. Artemis Fowl from other famous children's story books.
It's fucking Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. Yeah.
That being said, the one saving grace about that matchup is the fact that Percy Jackson fucking kills Harry Potter.
But he would. There's no question about it. It's a guy with a sword versus the guy who goes Expelliarmus every now and then. Wow, so cool.
And Zagreus also has a far more popular matchup in Pit from Kid Icarus.
Okay, that's kind of cute.
Okay, I see it.
Yeah. I'm actually surprised it wasn't Hercules, but,
I'm kind of not into this one either, too much.
Yeah.
I don't like thinking about Zagreus murdering a child.
Yeah.
My personal favorite for Zagreus is Alucard from Castlevania, but
oh, that's cute too.
Daddy
issues. Cute's not probably the right word for daddy issues, but I see it. I want Zagreus and Percy to go on an adventure together as besties, and maybe with Hercules as well. I don't want them to fight.
But yeah, I will say this matchup in particular showed up during the Tournament of Champions. In the round, which is the effectively the no one likes this round, because it had a matchup which is actually in here, which is very controversial. It had this, which both these characters have matchups that are more widely preferred by the community. It had Scott Pilgrim versus Kazuma from Konosuba.
Okay.
And then the one that actually people liked, which is the one that made it out of that voting round, was Mega Man X versus Optimus Primal.
Okay. Yeah, I see that.
That is the only one that people actually liked out of those four. Which I think is very funny.
Yeah. Yeah, it just kind of stresses me out at the idea of Zagreus actually having to fight a child.
Yeah, like this is one of the first ones I'm not into for a very specific reason.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
not just general disinterest or not liking them. Like, I do not want to see this. I don't want to see Zagreus murder child.
Yeah, it's like Ben 10 versus Green Lantern, except I think Zagreus would feel terrible about it.
unlike Hal fucking Jordan.
Yeah.
Anyway, since I'm assuming you all have tiered this, it's time for the second most popular SCP matchup.
Is that a JoJo again?
That is a JoJo's again! I told you there was like a weird amount of JoJo's on this list.
What SCP is it?
098, I believe?
What does he do?
So, SCP-098's whole thing is, if you see a picture of it, or if you see it, it will chase you down to the ends of the earth to try to kill you.
Yeah. It's kind of Ring vibes. Got it.
I think he's like more or less like if you see this SCP's face in any medium and any way, it will instantly know and find where you are and take you away forever. And there's nothing you can do to get far enough away from it, and nothing you can do to stop it once you've seen its face. And,
thanks, Codebuddy.
Except like have your mind completely wiped so that you don't remember it at all or whatever. Like, if it knows you have perceived it, it will fucking kill you and you cannot stop it. That's like the kind of horror story monster it is.
Yeah, Matt, why don't you explain what Toru and Calamity of You's whole deal is?
Yeah, it's okay. First of all, it's Wonder of You, you fake.
Wonder of You. Yeah, Calamity is the ability, right?
And so Wonder of You is a stand that is this is pretty big JoJo spoilers, so if people actually care about that, I'm warning you now. Wonder of You is, from the most recent completed arc, is like the last boss stand. The way this stand works is that if you attempt to approach it, in any way threatening at all, even a little, a calamity will befall you that will eventually escalate to the point where it kills you. You cannot interact with this stand at all. That's like that's the big thing about it, is you cannot approach Wonder of You or fate itself will fucking kill you. So like, this is a matchup between a guy who you cannot stop from pursuing you and a guy that you absolutely cannot pursue. Like, that's what this matchup is. Like,
that's kind of I actually kind of dig that now.
It's super cool in actuality.
It's like it's a thought experiment almost. Like, could the shy guy SCP-096 approach Wonder of You?
That's really funny, actually. Yeah.
I like this one a lot. This one is like turbo peak. Like, I think this is one of the best theoretical matchups. And like, obviously, like, JoJo fan bias, but like, if you're gonna do something with Wonder of You, which is a stand that's so bad for a story that, like, the way they resolved it in the manga was, like, strictly speaking, lore accurate and makes sense with how, like, spiral stuff has traditionally worked in JoJo's. But it really feels like a huge ass pull, because more or less the protagonist gets a power that reads on the page, gets around Wonder of You. I've gained the power to approach Wonder of You by approaching it from a different universe, is more or less what it boils down to. Like, Wonder of You says that if you try to approach me, the universe itself will stop you, but I'm approaching you from the one QPU aligned underneath the Mario universe, and it can't see me there. It can't see my bubble there. It's not QPU aligned, so Wonder if you can't see it, so I win. And like, it does actually work within the JoJo's lore, which is fucked up, but like, you have to be so lost in the sauce to understand why that for. And also, even if you do, it really still kind of feels pretty bad that that's how they resolved it. So, like, people do not like the ending of that part. Like, Wonder of You is a sick stand and really cool and really interesting, but it's too cool and good and interesting, so they couldn't actually figure out. Araki could not figure out how to write an ending. It was another one like, shit, I made a thing that nobody can deal with. Like, this has happened before. It happened in part 5 with a protagonist stand. Purple Haze was too good, and Araki couldn't write a story where the protagonist could have a meaningful problem with the existence of Purple Haze as something they had access to. So infamously, just the stand user just leaves the protagonist group midway through the story for just like says, I don't know, I refuse to be, I won't be part of the story anymore. And like, it later when asked, Araki was like, yeah, I couldn't write a story with Purple Haze in it, and if like I wanted narrative stakes to exist at all. So this is like not the first time he wrote a stand that was too good to be dealt with, but this time he couldn't just write it out of the story.
But
unironically, I love how passionate Matt was getting.
I love JoJo's. I really love JoJo's. Like,
yeah, and I can see how much you like. It is really cool to watch you watch people talk about stuff they're passionate about.
This is for sure my Blorbo series of like, I've tricked you by giving me a platform to talk about how much I like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yeah.
But even if you're not that lost in the sauce, just the theory of this matchup is really cool. Of a character that cannot be stopped from approaching you, and a character that you cannot approach physically or like.
Yeah,
like it's cool. It's cool. I think
it's a very cool idea. And honestly, in my opinion, it's probably the most likely SCP matchup to happen. Solely because it is one that received a pitch. So a person got 5 minutes to sell the matchup to either Ben or Chad or Liam and Sam. And I remember the crew being really big on this matchup. When
the through line is so compelling.
Legitimately, I put it not into it as soon as you started talking about both of their powers. I was like, okay, I really want to see this happen now.
Yeah, this is one of the best pitches I've seen for like for two characters from different franchises fighting each other, maybe period.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, anyway, you remember how I talked about there was a matchup that was really, really controversial? Anyway.
This is like a mystery dungeon thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I like this one. This is for me.
Whenever I see like a Pokemon randomly against an anime character, at first I'm like, what the and then I'm like, no wait, it's Mystery Dungeon. It's always Mystery Dungeon. Sorry, Sonia. Sorry for interrupting.
No, that's okay. I honestly, it's one of those things where I'd rather them be best friends and they go and hold hands and save the future together. But like, I think this one rocks. I like this one, and I like it's unusual, and I know it's Awakening still, and Awakening's probably one of the more famous, more popular Fire Emblems, and that's like sad because I like the other ones better. But I really like it. I like guys who have to go and save the time travel thingy. It's good. Look at them. They can be friends.
It is probably one of the Fire Emblem matchups that is like most likely to happen in like soon-ish, soon TM,
Oh.
just because there are people on the team who, or at least one person, who constantly inserts references to this matchup in episodes.
Okay, I guess I'm kind of surprised it hasn't happened yet then. But like I get it. I see the through line. I see that the idea is that they're both kind of antagonists at first, but they're not really because they're trying to save you.
Yeah, they're
It's
both
sweet.
presented as unknown antagonists, but then are revealed to be time travelers and related to the main character in unexpected ways.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Yeah.
It's a neat matchup.
It's like Trunks but a girl versus Trunks but a lizard. Like,
And that's cool.
that's peak. It's peak. It's good.
I love it.
It is weird to kind of sell the idea of this matchup to a just regular ass audience, because they look at the YouTube video and see Lucina versus Grovyle.
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense out of context. And like I can understand why this is controversial in that sense, because with no context, why?
It's also,
Why?
Lucina is another one of those characters where people just have a lot of people, or a lot of characters. Like Ciri from Witcher's one, Clarin
Makes
from
sense.
Rivals of Aether.
I haven't played it.
Basically just Lucina.
Okay.
But yeah.
She's
That's
a
a
good
neat
girl.
one.
He's a good boy. I hope they become friends after they kill each other.
Anyway, we're going to the opposite of good boys and girls.
Wait. What? Pete.
Go ahead.
First, Pete. Real fast about the last one.
Yeah.
Out of all of them on this list, it is the most outside of context. People do be commissioning anything out of the thumbnail.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, this is peak. Like legit, I put in should probably happen because I can see why it hasn't happened yet. But
yeah, this is also kind of Hydrogen Bomb versus Coughing Baby in Faffel's favor. But
Probably.
Like I'm big Deltarune fan. I love Deltarune. Spamton, like, it's not even close. It's not even remotely close. Like, I know what this fucking Bean Man gets up to in the later games.
It's a very funny matchup idea. And
Yeah,
it would be a good time to watch.
My playlist not loop.
Like, I'm not, no spoilers for 3 and 4 because it came out recently, so I'm not going to say anything meaningful, but after 3 and 4, the matchup got worse for Spamton, and it was already unwinnable.
So like, for him.
But this would be so sick to watch until like Spamton gets grungled into a toilet.
Yeah, where he deserves to be.
Yeah, probably one of the main reasons why this hasn't like happened and probably won't happen is just because, like, for as much cultural relevance as Spamton had, ultimately he is just a secret boss in a chapter of Deltarune. At least unless like he comes back in later chapters, but
I literally cannot talk about anything about 3 and 4 in any capacity because, like, this is the one series I'm such a huge. I don't want to spoil it for anyone so bad. That being said, I think whether Spamton is meaningful in the future or not in some capacity, it's one of those things where among the circles we run in, you will never stop hearing about these characters.
Oh yeah.
This character. Outside of this circle, both of these are literally who. Like, who the fuck are either of these guys? That's like a general audience.
I legit see Spamton all the time.
Oh, I'm sure.
Even before, I don't want to say anything else.
Also, I was actually going to ask you, because I was actually going to put there's a particular matchup for a character from chapters 3 and 4 that I was thinking of putting on here.
Yeah, I would advise not to until chapters 5. I think with Deltarune, the safe way to approach it, if you're trying to be respectful of Deltarune spoilers, is to wait for the next set of chapters to come out before,
Yeah.
like, talking too much about the previous one, especially now that there's going to be a accelerated release schedule.
I'll just say who their opponent would have been, and like, I don't think that'll spoil anything for people who haven't played 3 and 4, because that's
I
kind
think
of
probably not.
That's
Yeah.
if you know, probably kind of thing. But their opponent would have been Kane from the Amazing Digital Circus.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you both
yeah.
know exactly who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Then
Yes,
Yeah,
1,000,000,000% yes.
that would be a very good matchup, I think.
Like, ironically, naming this matchup would be one of the least spoilers, but I'm still not gonna do it.
Yeah. Anyway, we went from a good matchup to this.
Yeah, I saw that there for a while now. I'm like, yeah, that's sure a matchup that exists.
This is going into my secret 6th tier. I have not watched these games or played these movies. Like, I
Yeah.
know who the character on the right is.
Oh, you know
I've
the
not
one on
watched
the
a Star
left.
Wars movie since I was like 7.
Oh, you would
I
probably
do
know
not
who
know.
he is.
I
Kylo
literally
Ren.
don't know who he is.
You
Oh,
probably-
this is Kylo?
Yeah, that's Kylo.
Oh, this is half of popular power couple Reylo.
Exactly. You do know exactly who Kylo is. It's just, cultural osmosis, and that's it.
I hate this matchup.
Yeah,
That's
I
such-
understand the similarities, but I'm not a
It's
fan.
just such a disservice to Edelgard as a character.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it not into it out of respect for my peers.
There's a lot of words I could say, but I don't think I need to, because everyone has the same opinion, and there's no point in getting on the soapbox for people.
Indigo,
who
I
agree
hate to
with
break it to you. This is probably the most likely Edelgard matchup to happen. Primarily because Edelgard's other popular matchup did not hold cultural relevance.
I want to know.
We talked about it last time is Luis.
I forgot.
Luis from Metaphor.
Ah, that's it. Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, I remember that now.
Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah, these last two are kind of bangers, Co-Buddy. You say
I
it's
agree. Yeah, I really like this. Like, I never thought about it until I saw these images together, but I'm like, this would be a very banging, like, comic crossover, movie crossover. Like, I really do like this.
I would have put it in surprised it hadn't happened yet, except they did something like this recently, and everybody fucking hated it because they are stupid. So, like, I do know why this hasn't happened, because the Death Battle audience did not understand what a horror movie death battle needed to be.
You are also an enjoyer of that one? Yeah.
It was great. The audience did not get it. Like, it's a pretty condescending thing to say that I think that people don't like it because they didn't get it. But, like, I really do. Like, I really do think the general Death Battle audience just did not understand why it was the way it was, and were mad that they weren't slapping the action figures against each other enough.
I do think this would probably have a bit more focus on the slapping action figures against each other, just because these are two characters that have a lot more to do in terms of, like, an actual fight than Jason and Michael do.
Yeah.
So you don't so much need... I mean, it'll still probably be there, the, like, killing, killing victims and all that.
Yeah.
It'll probably
I
still
guess
be
you're right.
there, but...
These two could slap hands a lot more. Freddy Krueger is in a fight. He does have a fighting game moveset.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He was in Mortal Kombat 9.
He sure was.
Was Pennywise in Terrordrome? I actually don't remember. I don't think
I'm not sure. I think Pennywise washes Freddy though, right?
It's pretty debatable. The main thing I've seen about the discussion about this matchup, and I think it's a case where people are kind of focusing on the wrong thing, I think, in terms of who would win this one. And people are putting too much of a focus on raw power between these two characters. When I don't think, if you're debating this idea, I don't think just raw power is like the deciding factor here.
Yeah, I think like Pennywise being kind of an eldritch horror in the shape of a clown has he's more of like a cosmic force than Freddy Krueger is. Like Freddy Krueger is a guy who got movie monster powers because he's just that big of an asshole. But like Pennywise is like a Cthulhu tentacle made flesh in the form of a clown. And I think that's more important than how hard they can punch each other.
But you need to consider this, Matt. Freddy does have a power glove.
He does have a fucking fucked up glove.
Oh, I'm not talking about like his knife glove. I'm talking about the actual Nintendo Power Glove.
I hate that. I hate his knife glove in Dead by Daylight, by the way. The hitbox makes no fucking sense whatsoever. And I get hit by it every time, and it's like, this makes no sense. How it's like, it was just like this literal gap between me and him swinging. How did he hit me?
Later Nightmare on Elm Street movies are bad, but kind of wild in how bad they are.
Freddy vs. Jason is like so bad, but it's also kind of peak.
But yeah, final one.
I put this in surprise it hasn't happened yet, because I actually, looking at that, like,
Same.
that would kind of be, in the best way possible, kind of a meme fight, right?
One of the things that I think would be very funny to happen is you have Loki, you know, being the snarky asshole everyone knows Loki as. But as Kefka continues doing Kefka things, Loki starts getting more and more fed up with Kefka's shit.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a very, very funny dynamic.
Kefka fucking sucks outside of like...
Yeah.
He's like really a nasty guy. He's like an awful guy who's like in the shape of a clown.
And I love him. He's so terrible.
Oh yeah.
That's how you make a rensibly bad person, but a fantastic character.
Like people's introduction to Kefka is usually like the 8-bit Kefka laugh featuring every creepy pasta ever. And like, haha, the funny clown man, Submariners, the Woolseyisms. But then like, you're like, all right, let me play FF6 and read what this character's up to. And Kefka walks in and says, hello, soldiers. Let me talk to you about my favorite guy, Ben Shapiro. And it's just like, oh, this is what this guy's about. Huh?
Oh my god, that's not where I was expecting it to go. I was like, oh yeah, he's gonna talk about, the fact that he poisons the entire city. Okay, no, Ben Shapiro.
Entire city water supply, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to say something that would be more revolting than that.
You nailed it, I'd say, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like one I do still prefer Marx versus Kefka. Which we talked about last time. But like, I wouldn't be opposed to this one just because like it's Kefka getting on the show. Again, it's a Final Fantasy character that's not from fucking 7.
I would love to see the organs go wild, like the piano organs. I would really love to hear that song. I just like a mixture of dancing mad with whatever Loki shit you want to put in it. I'm here for it,
Yeah,
I'm
that is true too. Like from an interaction standpoint, this is vastly more interesting than Kefka versus Marx. Mostly because I don't think Marx fucking talks for one.
he does. Marx has dialogue in the start, but it's like literally one text box where he's like, "Oh, the sun and the moon are fighting. You should like fucking steal the star rod and stop it." Like it's just like filler dialogue more or less.
Gotcha.
And it's like the big reveal is that Marx was the shithead all along. Like as much as a Kirby game can have a big reveal in that day and age, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, and like I said, with this matchup, you could have the whole thing of them bouncing off each other by both being clowns at each other, but Loki slowly getting tired of Kefka's shit. And it's funny, as I talk about it, I'm actually the one who's talking myself up on this matchup.
No, it would be fun for sure.
I want to see it happen. I want to see the wretched little men's fight.
It's probably the most likely one to happen for Kefka, I would guess. But, like, who knows with Final Fantasy matchups in particular. But, yeah, that is the end of this episode of the Death Battle Matchup Council.
Thank you very much, Cole, buddy.
Oh yeah, I should say one thing. So originally, all these were going to have themes. Like originally, what I wanted the theme for this one to be was black sheep matchups. The best way to describe that is, in fact, this one, where is a matchup that exists, has some shooters, but is mostly disliked by the community. And to do that, I was trying to source suggestions from the Death Battle community. I got no fucking responses. So the theme of this one was, we're done with themes.
Yay!
We're free. We can do anything.
So yeah, now it's just like, I'm just putting matchups in a PowerPoint that I know people like. And I like it, some of them. We have cases where, like, Scar vs. Kurapika, where I know jack shit about both characters. But, yeah.
I kind of liked that. I kind of liked the chaotic energy of bouncing between some of these matchups. Just like,
yeah.
Some of the one to another's were like unhinged, unbelievable that we went from one matchup to the next one in a way that I found very compelling.
I think the only thing I would suggest, and
you mean
you
like
did it in
this?
this one.
Yeah.
I think I really enjoyed that you seem to have something for Matt and something for me to shoot with a gun. If you can have one of each shooting with a gun, I think would be very good. And then I'm so sorry I sashed you so hard when Link showed up.
No, that was so funny. That was
really
so
funny,
Sonia. That was so fucking funny.
You should ask Buddy more. Get them.
Put more links to other stuff. I'll sass the hell out of anyone.
But yeah, just by like virtue of there only being so many characters in the world, like eventually we're gonna run out. But
yeah, no, that's fair. Eventually.
Thankfully, there are channels in the official Death Battle Discord where people post fan-made thumbnails of matchups, so I can look through there and go, oh yeah, that character exists, and I remember the X matchup, so that's where a lot of these came from.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you make these thumbnails?
Yeah, I made all the thumbnails.
They're all very good, except for the Link one.
Yeah. Like, I think you do a really good job on these. Like, very consistently. They're all peak. They're all very good.
Yeah, I like that. Specifically, this Flowey and Princess one in black and white. I like it. It's a good way to do it. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I do think this is a very, very good thumbnail.
Yeah.
I am going... So, normally, I probably would have raided y'all over to Emrys, but by virtue of the fact that they are playing Silk Song right now,
Yeah.
Other spoilers game.
Yeah, probably a lot of people who are wanting to avoid spoilers for that. So
Valid. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a lovely time.
yeah, and we'll see you next time we do this. Basically, it's just whenever I do all the